unraveling these mysteries. Stay a while and share your thoughts. Help us break down this mystery. Grab a seat, we guarantee you're in wonderful company. Unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E. Unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E. Mrs. E. Mrs. E.
Hi, welcome into the Mr. E Crimecast. I am Mr. E. I am joined tonight by Mrs. E and Aunt E, and we're all festive in our backgrounds tonight. So that's great. Yours looks really good back there, Aunt E.
Thanks. Got it all finished this weekend with a little help from the fam.
I can't tell which room you're in. How many trees do you put up?
I just do two. I have one upstairs where we put all our gifts, and then our fancy tree downstairs in the living room. So I'm upstairs. Right. I'm upstairs with my back to the tree.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know where you're. I can tell where you're at now. So okay, great. Well, hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I'd like to welcome everybody in. I know it's been a little while for us, so we did not mean to be away for that long. Just so much going on with the holidays for us to all get this kind of coordinated, and I'm glad we could finally get back. This is definitely the longest break we've had, I think, since we started doing this.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think we have gone 8 days in between streams before, and this is closer to 2 weeks. But so thank you for being here, and I appreciate everybody's hanging with us and being patient with us coming back. There will be tons to talk about because we're going to go over a lot of these things that have unfolded over the last few weeks. But first, I want to thank all of our mods, of course, for being here. That are just fantastic. K-Mac is here. I saw
Lana H.
Dreaming of Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches. Who was the other?
Lana H.
Oh, Lana H. Marlena. Jenna Machete is here as well.
Keep up the chatter.
Very good. So, and of course, Nightbot. Always getting a little assist from
sure
Nightbot also.
For tats around here too, somewhere, I'm sure.
Maybe so. Or maybe doing family stuff on this holiday week that we all get to. So, anyway, we do appreciate all the mods for helping here, and of course, all of our subscribers and people that follow the channel, members, and everyone else for coming in here tonight too. Just want to say hello to a few of you. Purple World, good to see you, and Car Guy, K9 CPT Jules, good to see you again. Kitty Caddy, GTO Guy, Blessed Mom, Centacal with the green hearts there. Sharon, Karen Wynn, good evening to you too. Ginger Girl Guidance, Sandy Opinionated, Flamingo Lisa, Graham, good to see you in here too. Graham is volunteering. If we ever think we need more mods, he has volunteered. So you can't take it back. If we need you, we'll Mrs. E will reach out to you on that, I suppose.
Well, I'll just go ahead and make you a mod, Graham. Thanks for volunteering.
Yeah, that's great. We appreciate it.
Go
Graham.
crazy.
Yeah, so that we appreciate that, Graham. I know you've been with us for a while, several months for sure, and so you're great. So we appreciate the volunteering to do that because it is helpful, and you're awesome. So we appreciate that. And Terry F is a member for 3 months.
And did you miss Ginger Girls too?
Oh, did I?
And yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Terry, for being a member for 3 months, and also thank you to Ginger Girl for being a member for 3 months.
Well, thank you, Ginger Girl. We appreciate that very much.
And looks like K9 CPT Jules gifted 1 membership. Thank you, Jules. We appreciate you. If you received a membership from Jules, please tell her thank you.
Yes, thank you, Jules.
That was very sweet of you. It always makes me feel good when that happens. So,
Yeah, that's great.
It looks like hide and seek was gifted the membership.
And
Yay.
Jules, this is Jules, the dog handler, Jules, correct?
I believe
Yes.
so. Yes.
Yes. So you were great on Coffin Daffer. We watched that a couple of weeks ago. That was
Yeah.
very informative.
It's been a long time since we've been
I
here.
know. We haven't
Yes.
even
A
talked
lot
about
of
it.
stuff has happened.
I was thinking, the last time we were on, it was the day that Motel 6 got raided. That's how long it's been
Wow.
since
It
we've
feels
been
like
on.
a long time.
A ton of stuff has happened in between then. But that was the same day we did our last stream. But yeah, you were great. That was very informative.
Oh my
and that
goodness.
was the dog stuff is always very confusing to me, like what the difference between trails and scents. And so you did a great job just kind of explaining how that's different and how the dog could have gotten confused with all of that. So that was a very informative interview. If you haven't seen that, that would be worth checking out. Oh, Sharon, thank you so much for gifting 5 Mr. E Crimecast memberships. So early Merry Christmas to everybody. If you did receive one of those and you're in the chat, we appreciate you saying thank you to Sharon.
Oh
or
my
to Jules.
goodness. You guys.
So generous.
I don't even know what to say.
Jacob's crew.
Jacob's crew gifted 10
wow.
memberships.
Wow, thank you, Jacob.
You guys, you make me so happy. If you received a membership from Jacob's crew, please tell Jacob's crew thank you. That's very sweet of you. That's so kind. Oh, another one?
Okay, so now Jules did 5. So, well, thank you so much, Jules. That's very kind of you. We appreciate that.
That's
so
21
sweet.
new members.
That's awesome. More trivia people. So I think we should do Christmas trivia this time. For those of you who don't normally watch us, we do a trivia game monthly for our members. So Christmas might be fun, or Christmas movies may be fun.
Yeah, we could do something holiday themed in some way. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very
and
much.
if you received a membership from Jules or Jacob's crew or Sharon, please tell them thank you. That was very kind of you. We really appreciate that. It always makes me feel so happy. So we really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of let you know what our thinking is tonight. We there's been so much that has occurred since we've been here. We are going to kind of go from a variety of topics, here and there, some different things that have sort of happened that we have not had a chance to comment on, and kind of how we think that all fits in with the case. And then, of course, the thumbnail tonight, which is, I think, probably the biggest item on everyone's mind, is this person in the green hoodie. So we will spend a good deal of time talking about that. Also, we have had a chance to see the video. We're not, our sources asked us not to share that, so we won't be doing that, but we will talk about our interpretation of what we saw, kind of what it looked like to us, what it could mean, and what kind of questions it offers also. And so we'll do our best to kind of give what we think it could mean, and these various people that were caught on video there with Sebastian exiting the restaurant. Yeah. So anything before we go?
SS Butterfly Kisses sent us a really cool sticker of a microphone. So thank you, SS Butterfly Kisses. That's cute. I really like that. Is that a new one? I don't think I've seen that one before. That's cool. Maybe they do new ones. I have no idea.
What was it?
Oh, do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Here. It's a microphone.
Oh yeah. Okay. I haven't seen the microphone.
Thank you so much. That's so cute.
Thank you, Butterfly. We appreciate
That's really
that.
sweet. We appreciate you so much. Oh, let's see. What is this? Panda Bear's mom, it's not coming up on StreamYard for some reason, but Panda Bear's mom also sent us a sticker.
StreamYard.
And it says incredible. And it's her 10th super.
Oh, wow.
Super chat? I think it's a super chat. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Panda Bear's mom. We appreciate that very much.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. I don't know why it's not coming up. I don't know why it's not.
I can push it up. I was just going to let you recognize Alicia, member for 3 months. So glad you're with us.
Oh, Hot Wheels.
Thank you, Alicia. We do appreciate that.
Thank you, Panda Bear's mom, too. That was very sweet of you. That's so cute. It says incredible, and it's at number 10. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that is great.
I love those stickers. I don't know why. I get a kick out of them.
Yeah, it's fun.
I don't know why I do. I just love them. Well, thank you so much. That's so sweet. Let's see.
Well, and
Also, just so you guys know, I got dressed and I didn't realize that I had actually put on a green hoodie. And so
it was total accident.
I realized it right before we were going on. So
Sure.
it's a sweater hoodie. It's not the same.
Okay.
And it's not the right shade.
Yeah, so that was not intentional, but
yeah,
kind of noticed it right before. Pretty funny.
It was. I guess it was just in my mind. I don't know.
You're going to be on the list. You're going to be on.
No, this is not what it looks like, and you know that.
No writing, no lettering on there.
Nope.
I do want to mention this before we get into it. If you heard our music at the beginning, our intro music was provided to us by one of our other mods, Lady Tit for Tat, who's fantastic and awesome. She does our intro and outro music. And the other day I was cleaning in the kitchen and putting stuff away. And I'm one of those people I kind of sing as I'm working. You know, Mrs. E already knows this, but Auntie doesn't. So I was putting stuff away and cleaning and singing or whatever. And so I'm singing Mr. and Mrs. E or whatever, you know. And Little E's on the couch in the living room. She's like, what are you singing? And I go, oh, I kind of laugh. I go, oh, I was singing the theme song. And she goes, narcissist. And so I start dying laughing, you know, and she, you know how she is. So she's, she got all shy and embarrassed, like worried that she was hurting my feelings or something. She never wants to like make it the way she is. She doesn't want to make a joke if she thinks it's mean or something. And so she was all, you know, worried, but I thought it was hilarious. So,
I think it's hilarious too.
Very funny. But so I'll always think of that every time I hear that song.
Did you see Nick's question?
I did not. So, right. So this is what I'm telling you. You can't put this stuff out there. Anybody in the possession of a green hoodie is on the list. So Nick asks, where were you February 25th, Mrs. E? Just kidding.
Yes. Or joking. Is that joking?
JK, just kidding.
Okay.
I think.
Yes.
Or is it short for joking? Yeah, I think it's just kidding.
I'm not hip.
I think that's an old abbreviation.
Oh, T and Nurse is here as well. And I see Pebbles. Thank you for coming in, Pebbles. Thanks for helping out.
Kim V is new. It's her first time here with us. So welcome, Kim. Glad you could join us.
Yeah, I've seen a few names I haven't recognized. Of course, sometimes there's people that stay in the bushes and don't come out very often. But if you're not familiar with our channel, just to give you a quick rundown of what we're doing here tonight, we started our true crime channel late April. Really, I think that's the date.
It was late May, right? No, we started the channel, but we didn't start like being on air till May.
Okay,
promise.
Okay, I think
it's a terrible
before we went on vacation in June.
So right, we had done a few of those because we brought it all with us and did it down there.
Yes.
Well, anyway, but it was. Well, now I'm gonna have to like prove you wrong, so I'll have to check. I will have to check because I don't think we went. I think
the reason
April.
I say that is if you go to our channel and you look at the starting date, I think it says sometime in late April.
Right.
That's where I got that.
Well, exactly. But
that's when our first stream happened because it took us a couple of weeks to, you know, right? We decided or something, I guess, and then regardless, all I'm saying is that we started our channel a couple of months after Sebastian went missing.
May 12th.
May 12th of this first stream, yes. Yeah. But we started the channel or whatever in late April. But anyway, so we you know, of course, we have a son with autism who has been an eloper in the past. So anytime these children with autism go missing, there's been several recently, actually, if you've been following all those alerts. Some of them have been returned safely and some not. But it always captures our attention. And this one happening in our home county, that story we've been following since day one, really. And then we basically felt like there needed to be a place where people could have a logical, theoretical discussion on the Sebastian Rogers disappearance, and that didn't really have an agenda, and focus more on the facts and less on rumors. That's really what we were trying to accomplish. And then that's what we've been doing ever since. We do cover some other cases, but we will always cover this one if there's any news to discuss. It'll always be kind of our primary focus until the case is solved. Although we do occasionally cover other stories that catch our interest too. That's why we started the channel. And Sebastian, of course, went missing a little over 9 months ago now. And there's been very little evidence, firm, solid, verifiable evidence to come out since. But there has been some recently, including this video that we've seen. So one thing that's exciting about the hoodie video is that we now have we're getting a more firm, established timeline that isn't based on the words of others. We now know that at 6:22, we know exactly where Sebastian Rogers was the night he went missing. He was walking from Texas Roadhouse to his car with his mother. So where that, so these kinds of things are huge for people like us trying to piece this all together. He's captured all of our hearts, of course, as well. I know lots of people were sending wishes to Seth and his family and everyone that's missing Sebastian on the holidays. It's going to be a very difficult time. I'm sure this week was hard for him.
Well, this next week's going to be hard as well because his birthday's coming up on Saturday. Birthday
coming up this Saturday, and then you have Christmas, and anybody that goes through any kind of tragic situation, the holidays are always the toughest. We all, so continued prayers for everyone that is loving and missing Sebastian right now, and that he is hopefully found safely and brought home. And there are theories and possibilities that he could be out there, and that he could still be out there and could be found. But we do need to move quickly. Every day that goes by is precious, and he could be safe today, but not tomorrow. So there should be a sense of urgency by everyone. And I think, so anyway.
Well, a couple things before you get started. Justin RN became a member of Crime Dog, so we appreciate you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Justin. We do appreciate that.
I feel like you've been a member before, though.
Yeah, I think
maybe
so.
Renewed.
Well, I know you've been here before. I don't remember.
And Dina Downey became a new member. I'm trying to pull that one up. Let's see. Dina Downey. Sorry. It's like I've never used StreamYard in my life.
We're a little rusty.
Thank you so much for becoming a member. We appreciate you. And also, Jules sent us a $5 super chat.
So Jules says, thank you for the kind words about my interview with JC. I love talking canines. I just never realized how much I sound like Donna from that 70s show. LOL.
Oh, that's funny.
Which one's Donna? Is Donna the redhead?
Yes.
Okay. I'll have to listen to that again. I don't know. It didn't stick out to me, but maybe I'm sure you're right. If people commented on it, I'm sure that's right.
And then Charlene McPike just became a member. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. I'm going to do our little video for our new Crime Dogs.
Sure.
Welcome to Mr. E's Crime Dogs. We call ourselves Crime Dogs, coined by our very first member, K-Mac. So we appreciate you and thank you for joining. And like we said before, we do a trivia. We try to do it once a month. Looks like we're going to do Christmas this time. So, and then we do prizes. So, and I believe Dreaming of Blue Skies sent us a Cheesecake Factory gift card.
Wow.
To do for our next, that I think it's a $25 gift card for Cheesecake Factory to give away as a gift.
Well, if they're a local, we could meet them at the Cheesecake Factory.
If a local wins, sure.
Yeah,
they may not want to.
If they want, we could go. We would love an excuse to go to the Cheesecake Factory.
And New Orleans Pothole used to be Rockin' Rhonda. Has been a member for 4 months. Thank you so much. That is so sweet. We appreciate you. It's weird.
Thank you, New Orleans Pothole.
Yes, I think that's funny.
Yes, that's funny.
But it's Rockin' Rhonda, really. But and she says, "Love my crime dogs." Well, we love you back, and we appreciate you. That's very sweet of you.
I take it are you from New Orleans? I guess. I love that city. So I do we have any others before you?
I don't think so. I think we're good.
So I just we may not go into all of these things too in depth, but I do want to mention them just since we haven't talked about it here. And I know many of you probably follow other influencers channels and get news different sources, but
I did forget one thing.
Okay.
Grandma Chachi's feeling under the weather, and I want to wish her well and hope she feels better soon. And if there's anything we can do, please let us know. So
yeah, absolutely. And Yeah, they'll just definitely let us know. I see Josh from the lab is in here too. Good to see you in here, Josh. We're going to talk a little bit about, we were going to talk about more about this earlier, but it's been so long. Everybody's seen the interview at this point. But he did such a great job with Seth's interview. I guess two Fridays back now. And it was great. Very informative. We learned a ton that we did not know before. Just to kind of understand Seth's first 3 days into the investigation. I hope they continue to ask you to do it. I think you're a very skilled interviewer. You know how to kind of keep it going while you just get the right flow and get the information that people are hoping to get. So hopefully you'll continue to do that with him. It was really good.
I thought Josh was the perfect choice. I mean, the perfect choice for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it totally makes sense why they would ask you to do it. So I'm glad they did, and I hope they do it again. I think so Josh is one of the best out there. So glad to see you doing that, and
hope to see you do it again.
It was wild. I guess we can get started there and talk about the Seth interview. It was crazy.
Well,
I've never
did
seen
you want to do the breaking news real quick?
Oh yeah, okay.
Breaking news.
We do have breaking true crime news of a sort. Hunter Biden has been pardoned by his father. So if you did not know, he has been pardoned.
Auntie told us right before we started, like
there's
right when we were going.
Official statement letter that just came out, and it's all over the media, so you can find it on any source. Just about whether it's CNN or Fox News, you can find it wherever you look. It's out there, or on your favorite social media platform.
Yeah, I think it just happened a few minutes ago, right? Like right before we came on.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's our breaking news of the night. We get to have.
Well, it's technically true crime.
Yes, it's true crime,
right?
In a sense. So that happened tonight. So
I like Linda's comment. Of course, he has been.
It'd be kind of crazy not to pardon your own son before you left.
I thought he said at some point he was not going to do that.
He did. He actually.
Did.
Yeah, I think he did.
Well, hello, War Eagle. Welcome in.
Hi, War Eagle. Good to see you in here.
She said, "Well, that is just so shocking." Right?
Oh, that's funny.
The lab says maybe he can work out that parking ticket for me before he leaves.
Call it in, Josh. Call it in.
If you've got the right political favors that you can offer, I'm sure. And that's kind of how those pardons usually work, I guess the only surprising thing is I'm surprised he just didn't do it closer to the exit.
Right.
Well, the way he acts, his days are kind of numbered. He could go out at any time.
Go ahead.
Have you seen that video?
I haven't seen it.
It is funny. It is funny. It looks like it looks like he wanders into the wilderness.
I've seen that one. That's hilarious.
I'm sure there was some little station or something back there area, but it is funny.
Thank you, Jules. And Jules says, did Brandon wander into the rainforest again? Thank you, Jules. That's funny. He's told me about it. I just haven't cared enough to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things.
There's so much going on all the time. So I know that's terrible, but I just haven't, taken the time. Now I have seen the Eat the Dogs. Oh, Auntie, you're gone.
No, my husband has the TV on, and he was switching rooms, so I was muting it so you wouldn't hear the TV.
Oh, I thought you were talking to us. Okay, sorry.
No, sorry.
I've seen the what is the Eat the Dogs, Eat the Cats video. That's the Simpsons looking one. That's really funny.
That's funny.
That is a good one.
I watched it a few times, and it looks like our chat's talking about Kash Patel coming in as our FBI director.
That is true. And yeah, so I mean, FBI, the head of the FBI is going to affect all of true crime, and
yes.
Kash is a very interesting choice. So he's if you've heard him talk about his plans for the FBI, it's kind of like he wants to. I mean, it's what he's saying. What's going to actually happen, we never know. But he says he wants to get rid of all the bureaucrats and send them out in the field. This is the quote I heard. Let's get them out there and being law enforcement officers and not just sitting around in offices.
Mr. E, you have been upstaged by Yellowstone cowboys.
Tennessee nurses, I'm watching chat, but got y'all muted. These cowboys on
Yellowstone.
YS. Oh, Yellowstone have a
Yellowstone,
sexier
yeah.
voice than Mr. E. Oh, that's okay. It's our fault for going up against Yellowstone, really. So, I mean, what were we thinking?
Is Kevin Costner still on that show? Because if so, I'm going to go. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. We never watched it.
That's like
Um,
that speech, and I'm not going to say the speech because I'm not. But the speech in Bull Durham,
yeah.
that's probably one of the best things I've ever heard in my life. So, anyway,
Yeah, I don't know. We've kind of talked about starting that show at some point and just never pulled the trigger to do it. So I don't know. I don't know. Oh, okay. So people are saying don't answer that question. I guess if Kevin Costner's still on the show or not. I guess it's a spoiler, so we don't know.
I know.
But I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. So look, I guess we need to change the topic from Yellowstone.
You don't even watch that show. How do you know?
But it's spoiled for people in the.
How do I know?
No, how does Aunt E know? She doesn't watch shows. Like
Grand E does, and she watched it on YouTube ahead of time.
I didn't know you could do that.
Well, she did.
That's interesting.
Oh my goodness, Jacob's crew gifted 10 more memberships. Somebody must agree with me about Kevin Costner.
Well, thank you, Jacob's crew. We appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we've got a lot going on. Thank you so much, you guys. That just means a lot to me and to us, but mostly me. I'm just kidding. Star Child also gifted a membership. Oh my goodness, guys. I'm trying to get to that.
I need to cough. Can we mute for a second?
Yeah, Auntie, can you thank everybody and I'll let him cough?
Yes, I want to say hi to R. Taylor. I'm sorry you can't stay with us tonight. You'll have to watch us on the replay, but thanks for joining us. And Gina Stevens, hi, Pebbles, Mima, Linda Timmons. We have a lot of people jumping on. Star Child. Yes, thanks for your gifted membership. R. Taylor got a new membership. Got lots
R. Taylor was a member before. I think R. Taylor just rejoined. It's so weird. StreamYard is so strange. I don't know. But thank you for coming back. We appreciate you.
Well, Justa RN says they've talked to Kevin Costner before. I briefly met Kevin Costner. He spoke to me and almost had a heart attack. That's a pretty cool one. Kevin Costner's a good one. That's
one I would have liked to have met. I've met a lot of celebrities, but I haven't met Kevin Costner. No? That would have been a good one.
No, don't know that one. So with the Seth interview, if you, I'm sure 99% of you have seen it. If you haven't, it's very informative, gives you a lot of insight into what things were like for Seth in those first few days, his interactions with police and with Katie and who was where and what time things happened. And so that was very helpful with timeline stuff also. Some of the kind of the key things that stuck out to me, and maybe Auntie and Mrs. E have other ones that stuck out, but one was that he received that message at 6:22 from the text with the 911. So that kind of helps kind of understand timing of things. Another was that he says he thinks that Kathy was there when he got there, but he couldn't say it 100%. It's like one of those 99% sure, but he wouldn't quite commit to it. And so there might be a little doubt there if we're trying to figure out Kathy's timeline and where she was and when. There, if you recall, there was a time back maybe 3 or 4 months ago, sometime this summer. Kathy rarely posts on the Facebook groups about these things, but she got into it kind of back and forth answering questions with some people and had stated that she wasn't there until, I believe she says 10:30 that morning. And that, of course, ran contradictory to what Seth had been saying, that she was there when he got there. And, the whole thing with Kathy is whether she was at Warsham's at prior to 6 a.m. and why would she be on that side of town at that, so there was there's a lot of interest in her timeline, and she's never spoken publicly, of course. But to know that she most likely was there prior to what she stated. And I think she since has deleted that post, I believe, on Facebook. So. I think she's taken that down since. So why is there a contradiction there and all of that? That's all, of course, interesting. And then there's just the general, his general feeling with the police. I think overall, I think he felt, of course, like a suspect. They come to his home, they kind of leave things in a mess, strip the sheets, all that kind of thing that he talks about. But that, that part of it to me is actually not that unusual. They should have been treating him as a suspect at first until things become more clear. They should have been treating everyone in his life as a potential suspect until they knew what had happened. So to me, that was just them kind of doing their job. But I understand, the feeling you get. Nobody wants to be accused and have those, have that feeling. But I understand it from the law enforcement perspective that way. Were there any other things you took from the interview that I had to go back and watch it a few days later because we were actually modding for Seth, which we were happy and thrilled to do.
I mean, I was.
I know.
I saw Mr. E in there modding.
I did.
Really slowly.
I blocked, I think 3 total people, and but everybody else is way faster than me. So I would pull one up, and I would get ready to block, and then some other mod would have gotten it right before I could. But man, that chat was so fast. I've never seen a chat like that.
It was like a full-time job.
Okay,
it was incredible.
Okay, 2 things. First, I want to say that R. Taylor has been a member for 3 months. So, R. Taylor, thank you for being a member for 3 months. And R. Taylor is asking for everyone to pray for her son's healing. So, everybody put some prayer hands up in chat, and let's say a little prayer for R. Taylor's son, and pray for complete healing.
Yeah,
and quickly.
I hope it's nothing serious, but you'll definitely have our prayers.
We'll add him to our prayer list.
You said she. I've always assumed R. Taylor was a male. I don't know why.
Well, the reason I said she is because I have seen the person in the other chats, and I just assumed.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's my bias though too.
I don't know. I don't know why. I've always just assumed R. Taylor was male, but there's no reason to think that.
He or she's child.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't guess it matters, but I just that's funny that you assumed one way and I just assumed the other, and I have a reason to believe
I have
that,
more
actually.
Experience than you.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And then Annie Banani became a new member. Thank you so much.
It's a great name, Annie
That's
Banani.
A great name.
So we're glad to say that one, Annie Banani.
And Annie Banani says, thanks for all the info you share. Thank you so much, Annie Banani. We appreciate you. That's so nice. I enjoyed our break, but I have forgotten how much I love, just kind of interacting with all you guys. You guys are the best.
We just could not line it up. The kids all being home, tons of stuff going on, lots of family visiting for both our house and at Auntie's. We just had so much going on.
We stayed up late at night, and both my kids were here with their significant others, and it was just it was crazy busy, and it's nuts. 4 dogs, it was nuts.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well,
yeah, I know.
It looks like we've got a special guest waiting. I just realized that.
Oh, we do. Okay.
He's been on there about 5 or 6 minutes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me?
I thought you could see it because I could see it.
All right. Well, I'm going to see if that person.
I don't see his face yet, but I see his.
I don't think we're doing a face, but we have a special guest, guys. And if he's still on there, I apologize in advance for not doing that.
When you said you had 2 things to share, I thought that was one of them.
Oh, no, I was just talking about Annie Banani and R. Taylor.
Right.
Okay.
And our guest is probably like, what's going on?
Our guest is like, what? Hello, guest. We just realized you were there.
I'm so sorry, but thank you for joining us, Tony. We've got Tony Mathis here. Of course, the spokesperson for Seth Rogers, and we appreciate you joining us. How are you doing today, Tony?
I'm doing good, Mr. E. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear perfectly. You guys did great with the show with Seth the other day. We were just talking about this earlier. I've never seen a live like that where it was moving so fast, and I think they had it slowed down like the slowest rate as possible. We were modding, and trying to block the trolls and that kind of thing. And it was almost impossible that you couldn't even click on them fast enough. But a huge success. You guys had a great, a lot of interest. There's still obviously tens of thousands of people that are still following this case. And so supportive of the effort to bring Sebastian back home. And so you all did great. It was a very interesting interview. But I appreciate you joining us today. And I think that if I understand correctly, what you were interested in discussing was maybe helping to clear up some timeline issues. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'd say that's accurate. First off, Mrs. E, how are you? And Auntie, how are you?
I'm great. And Mrs. E stepped off for just a second, but I'm doing great. I'm wish it was a little bit warmer where I live because it's supposed to be warm here, but it's not. But other than that, I'm doing great.
And Mrs. E just
Good.
stepped back in here, so he was just asking how you were doing.
Well, I had to run to the restroom, so I'm back.
I
I'm doing
completely
good.
understand that, by the way.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Sounds like you're driving.
I am. I'm out, headed out into West Texas.
Mm.
Very good. Well,
What's the song with West Texas in it?
I don't know.
Old El Paso.
Town of El Paso.
Yep.
Yeah,
Marty Robbins.
Yep.
we're showing our age there.
No kidding.
Oh, we know what
So,
8-tracks are.
So what I'd like to talk about, guys, and I appreciate you giving me the chance to come on and clear some of this up. First thing I can tell your audience is that you guys are here tonight with a group of people that verify, re-verify, as Mr. E said over and over again, try to gain information from a couple or three different sources before they put it out. And unfortunately, I'm not going to get into mentioning creators by name, but unfortunately, we're dealing with other creators that they really don't verify anything, and it's kind of a pattern with some of these creators. And the latest thing that's out there from a couple creators is that there had been an email sent by Seth Rogers that he was trying to get Sebastian put in a home. I think it started out, September, October, that kind of thing. Even the dates aren't correct. I heard another rumor that something to the effect of Seth was told that, well, they had given Seth a year to get his home in order. And because he couldn't get his home in order, they were going to do something different with Sebastian. That's kind of like it's kind of like a lot of the other things that have happened there locally. It's just not factual. Um, I'll take you guys back. First off, we're familiar with some of these DCS reports that have been talked about over and over again. Um, I think it's important for your audience to know that over the last 2 years, there's been 5 different DCS reports that were filed. Those reports started in 22.
So, did you say 5, Tony?
Correct.
Okay.
Are these all in the Proudfoot home?
Correct.
Okay,
Now,
yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that number before.
So what I can tell you, obviously, we are not allowed to discuss the content of those reports.
Right.
I can tell you that whether they're in one parent's name or the other step parent's name, the allegations are consistently against the step parent. So you can have a DCS report that's filed that may be in the mom's name, but it may be regarding the environment that she is allowing her child to be in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's go back to the first of these DCS reports was filed in 22. So fast forward to 23, which would have been let's say a year ago at this time, um, Katie and Chris were actually trying to get Seth to take Sebastian a year before everybody knew that the plan was for him to go to live with Seth. So you look at, I want to say October of 22. Now these dates are rough. They're within a month or so of being accurate.
Okay.
But in October of 22, um, they had tried to get Seth to take Sebastian then. This is not something that a lot of people know. Well,
I have not heard this. No.
what they're talking about when they say that things could not get in order for him to get Sebastian, it had nothing to do with his home. It had to do with the fact that they wanted him to take Sebastian in the fall of 22, and he had tried to get signed up for the online program with Clarksville schools, and there was a waiting list, and he could not get approved. So he had a conversation with Chris and Katie and told them that he really thought that it would be smart for them to continue to let him finish out the school year and not move him to another physical school in the middle of the year. So that's what happened. He stayed in his, stayed at the school he was at for the remainder of 22 and part of 23. So fast forward to November of 23, we know that there were more DCS reports filed in that month. And we know that on or about the time those DCS reports were filed, Seth Rogers received a call from Chris and Katie that they wanted to put Sebastian in a behavioral center. Basically, you can call it a boys' home. I don't like to call it that. I like to call it a behavioral center.
Okay.
They were having problems with Sebastian at home. They were having problems with Sebastian at school. They were kind of at their wits' end with him. According to Seth, they did not have a lot of patience with him, which is why they had a lot of problems that Seth did not have when he was with Seth. So Seth asked Chris and Katie to send him the name of the organization that they were trying to send him to. They sent him the name. The name of that organization was Bledsoe Youth Academy in Gallatin, Tennessee. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that place.
I don't think I've heard of that.
Okay. So that was in November of 23. Seth does research on that specific center. And according to Seth, there had been 5 or 6 childhood deaths associated with that facility.
Oh, wow.
So when he found that out, he reached out to Chris and Katie again by phone, let them know that under no circumstances was his son going to that facility, and gave them the reason. So they in turn told Seth that if he could find another behavioral facility that he liked better or that he thought was a safer place for Sebastian, they would allow, they would consider that. So the infamous email that people are talking about was simply a forwarded email. I have a copy of it, and I will send it to you guys off the air.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you.
He reached out to a lady that was a behavioral specialist, and she recommended 4 different centers. And the 4 centers were, one was in Missouri, one was in Utah, one was in Wyoming, and then the 4th one was was in another state. I can't remember what state it was in.
Okay.
So when Seth got that email, the email described in great detail each facility, what they treated, what they specialized in, a little bit about the facility, and it was basically a synopsis of all 4 facilities. So Seth, on December 1st, simply forwarded that email to Chris and Katie. Again, I have a copy of the forwarding email. So they did some research, figured out that those facilities were between $5,000 and $10,000 a month. They decided it wasn't in the cards for the blended family together to be able to pay for that. So that's when they went back to, well, when this school year's over, he's coming to live with you, which would have been in May, which of course Seth said, fantastic.
Right. Okay.
I'm going to go back to Clarksville and I'm going to find out if he is ready to be approved for that online school. Well, in a matter of a week, Seth found out that Sebastian's name had come up, which would have been the second week of December, and that Sebastian had been approved for the online school. Basically, his turn in line had come up. So everything was, was situated there. They quit talking about the behavioral centers or what have you, and just accepted the fact that in May he was going to live with his dad, and it would be his dad that would be dealing with him and any issues he may or may not have. So fast forward to the end of January of 24, there was another DCS report that was filed. We do not have the details of that report because that report was ongoing when Sebastian went missing.
So even Seth has never read this one.
Correct.
And Tony, there's a few questions in chat about this. And if I remember correctly, Seth had to go to an attorney to get these reports in the first place, correct?
The report, yes, all of the reports that I mentioned previously that were not currently open, he had to go to an attorney to get those reports.
Can I just clarify? So that one that happened in January that Seth has not been able to read, is that is the 5th CPS report that we know of?
Correct.
Okay. Wow.
That's insane.
Now, I'm a math guy, but I don't think you have to be a mathematician for this to add up. And I'm certainly not going to come on your show and start getting into accusing anybody, but
No.
get to the point where there's enough DCS reports and it's been made very clear that they don't want to deal with this child. And on February 25th, early February 26th, the boy goes missing.
Wow.
That's incredible. Why didn't one of the questions that popped in my mind just going through when you were giving this timeline? So if he was trying to get him registered for the online school in 2022, but wasn't able to get in because of a waiting list. Why didn't he take him at the beginning of the fall of 2023? Was there? Do you know the reason?
Hadn't been approved yet. They approve them all throughout the year.
So there was even a 2-year backlog on trying to get into that online school.
Tony said the first week of December he was approved for the online school, and that would have been in 2023.
I see.
It's about 14 months it took him to get approved.
And just to be clear for people in chat, Tony said that the last report that Seth could not get because it's an ongoing report has not been closed.
That's correct.
Okay. And that's why he cannot get it.
Someone else in
That's-
chat was asking about a meeting with all parents at the school on February 10th. Do you know anything about that?
Or he might not be able to speak on it.
Guys, just like I had to gather all the information for you guys on this, I would have to ask that question and gather that information.
Right.
Gotcha.
No, this
is kind of shocking.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say.
So I'm going to, just in the spirit of your audience knowing that that all of this is that all of this is fact based, and I've verified all of it. Looked at the emails. The first of those 4 places, and you guys can write this down. First of the 4 recommendations was a place called Masters Ranch Academy. That's the Missouri one.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Masters Ranch. Okay.
New Hope Christian Academy was in Texas. Oasis Boys Ranch is in Wyoming. And the one that you guys are probably familiar that there's been conversation about was the 4th one, which is Stillwater Academy in Utah. And that's where a lot of the Tennessee boys go that have these types of issues.
Okay. I'm making notes. Sorry, Tony.
And
No,
at the
that's
bottom of the email, the lady said all of these locations have openings. And this email was from Tara Akers, who was the Assistant Director, Information Services for Residential Schools and Programs.
wow. That is really eye opening.
But I would tell your audience that if you are going to pick creators to listen to, before you take something and run with it, look at their track record. And you've got some of these creators that have got things wrong over and over and over again. And it doesn't fit their narrative that it was Chris and Katie that wanted him in a behavioral center. Seth did not control that decision because he was not the majority custodial parent. They were
Right.
nice enough to give him some input, but he also wanted a center that would counsel him for some of the things he had been through when he was younger. And I think we all know what I'm alluding to.
Sure. And should. I mean that's wow, that is the chat. We're just kind of looking here what people are really heartbroken at this news.
Well,
it's kind of the
and it's my understanding
consensus.
I want to ask Tony just to clarify this because I'm seeing people say, why didn't Seth do anything if he knew he knew about the 5 CPS reports? But it's my understanding he didn't know, right?
He didn't know about any of them.
That's outrageous. That's outrageous.
They never notified him. When he got the DCS reports, he didn't just get the ones from November. He got all of them.
I mean, that.
It was his custody shared custody.
I don't know what they call it in Tennessee. In Oklahoma, it would be joint custody, but it was, it was a weighted joint custody, right? I mean, he only had him every other weekend.
Right.
Gotcha. As long as his rights weren't terminated, he should have had the ability to. I know because I worked in a school system for 27 years, and we had to notify any parent that still had rights to the child anytime we had to call CPS and CPS came out, you know, once the investigation was started, we were required to do that. So I'm wondering why CPS did not contact the other parent. You know,
Well,
that's
Miss
strange.
Auntie, I would tell you that from the legal counsel that we have spoke to, they had a very straightforward legal responsibility to notify him. And I would say that you can't do much about this until we figure out what the damages are.
Right.
But I think that this situation is far from over.
Oh, so
Yeah.
they did have a legal responsibility to notify him. That is
They
what.
did.
Oh,
Okay, I had not
I
ever
would have
looked
been
into that.
surprised had they not been responsible, because I know that's not something you can drop the ball on.
I see. I guess Clutch the Pearls was on while we were on. He just says, "I'm sitting 1,300 people laugh out loud." I was wondering what was going on here. Our numbers just like went through the roof, and I guess he's hopping over here to hear you guys.
Tell Justin I said hello.
I think he can hear
yes,
you.
I'm sure he can hear you. But
Thank you, Justin.
what
We
I might
appreciate you.
do then is just kind of do a brief recap, Tony, if you don't mind, real quick about what you told us, and actually maybe you can correct me in case my notes are off. What Tony is
You
doing.
need my notes.
Yeah, if I need them legible, I'll grab yours. But yeah, so Tony basically came over here tonight to clear up some timeline issues. I guess there had been a rumor out there about Seth, and so he wanted to just give the full information. Talk to Seth today, and back in October of 2022, Seth and the Proudfoots had all had a discussion about having Sebastian enter an online program in Clarksville and living with Seth. There was a waiting list, so he couldn't get on that year. So they finished up that school year. The following summer comes. Once we get into the fall of 2023, he still can't get into that online school in Clarksville. The waiting list is still full. So he enters high school, of course. They start having trouble at school, behavioral issues. And then sometime around November of 2023,
CPS reports or DCS reports.
Oh yeah. So actually, during this time of 2022 through 2024, or January of 2024, there were a total of 5 different CPS reports made, all separate incidents, all mostly involving, it seems, the
The fifth one's still open.
The fifth one is still open, but they all are directed, or they all involve the step parent in the home. Is the
predominantly, right?
Predominantly, although Katie seems to be named possibly in a couple of these, but more as
allowing.
But the step right, allowing the situation to occur. So they are having trouble with Sebastian, I guess, at some point, and then around November of 2023, they start having discussions about putting Sebastian in a behavioral school, one locally in Gallatin called Bledsoe Youth Academy. Seth does some research on it. It turns out they've had a lot of, I guess, children pass away under their care, and so he didn't want to approve that. He reached out to a lady named Tara, who works with this kind of thing, found 4 other really good schools around the country. Those cost between $5,000 to $10,000 per month. So of course that's, $60,000 to $120,000 a year. So that was not feasible, for the budget at that point, I guess. And then he gets approved, I guess, sometime in that winter, before he went missing, to get into the Clarksville school. So then the plan becomes for Sebastian to go live with Seth in May, which we all knew this part of it, that was the arrangement. But then another CPS report comes in January, and we still don't know what's in that report. And neither does Seth, neither does Tony. No one knows, because it's an open investigation. And then Sebastian goes missing in February. So there's your timeline. Tony, am I misspeaking on any of that you could tell?
No, and when I spoke to Mr. Rogers, he said that the ongoing one was either at the end of January 24 or the very beginning of February, within that few days there.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
So I assume police have seen it, correct? They'd be able to see it. Investigators.
I would venture to say that they know everything that I'm sharing with you.
Sure. And they probably, even the open one, that wouldn't be off limits for them. They'd be able to
No.
subpoena that, I would think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, that's, it's, people are so, I know you can't see the chat because you're driving. People are just really devastated and heartbroken. They're angry at CPS. That's essentially, that's what everyone's kind of saying. It's jaw dropping.
Yeah, that's the response. for sure.
Unfortunately, we knew some little bits and parts of this, but it does kind of make sense. The timeline starts to make some sense, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a conversation offline with you and Mrs. E regarding the John Benet Ramsey miniseries that my wife and I watched.
Yes.
And there was an older, they called him the Sherlock Holmes of these types of cases. I think his first name was Lute. But, he made a statement when he was talking about the case that so many times people make these cases more difficult than what they are. And I looked at Dana and I said, boy, that one hits home. And,
Mm-hmm.
you start to get to the point where, 2 + 2 + 2 + 2 = 8.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is where they should be looking. I mean, it's the first place they need to be looking is right here. If you're ignoring all of this, then you're not, you're not, it's willful ignorance or you're incompetent. And I can't imagine that it's either. I'm sure they are looking at all of this. You know me, I've got the rare opinion or the minority opinion that, that law enforcement, this is not a big corruption cover up issue. I've always believed that they are doing a real investigation. It's just a difficult one, and that it's painstaking and it's piece by piece.
They're being careful.
They're
Well,
being cautious and careful.
and
That's been my belief, and I think they've got to be looking here. I don't know how they're
well,
not.
and Mr. E, that I've always shared that opinion with you.
Right?
Uh,
Yes, you said
Yes, he
that.
has.
And so, what I like to look at a lot of different things and say, well, what if this happened? What if that happened? I like to use a lot of analogies, but if you and Mrs. E had 4 or 5 domestic violence situations at your home, and they came out, and every time they came out, you were the bad guy. You were doing things that you shouldn't be doing. She was claiming that she was scared. You did this, you did that 4 or 5 times over a couple of years. And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and Mrs. E is missing. I mean, where would the world be looking?
Sure, of course. You'd have to check me out first. I mean, you would have to expect it. You'd have to clear me first. If they didn't, they would not be doing their job. So and it doesn't mean that there's any guilt necessarily with these people, but it definitely needs to be the first place they're looking. And until they can clear that, then they don't really need to spend any time looking anywhere else. There's too many red flags.
And
It's
one
got to be
thing
where
that
they are
you-
looking.
Yeah, one thing that you've never heard me say, now you've heard Seth say it, you've never heard me accuse them directly of being responsible, but
Sure.
you will hear me say over and over again that I believe that you have to follow the evidence.
Right.
And I don't know what all the evidence is, and neither do you guys, neither does your audience. And I do believe that they are working hard to keep things close to the vest. And I believe that they are following the evidence. I truly believe that.
I do too. There's actually there's little signs here and there, if you're paying attention to it, that they are. that they are doing an active investigation, and that it's not just sitting on a shelf collecting dust. I think that that's the case. And yeah, I'm sure they have way more information than we have. We probably only have 5% of what's out there available that investigators have got. I mean, I guess you guys knew, but we had no idea that there were 5 CPS reports in 2 years. That's outrageous. It's outrageous in a lot of
we
ways,
now
even if they
know-
have nothing to do with Sebastian's disappearance at all. It's outrageous. It's unacceptable.
Well, and we now know, Mr. E, that, you know, thanks to a conversation I had with you guys, because I've had my head out of the YouTube world for a little bit, but you know, Sumner County or the TBI, we now have confirmation that they've reached out to 2 different content creators for either an interview that they've done with one of the parents or some evidence that they talked about and wanted to find out, hey, can I get a clip of this? Can I find out where you got that? So they are watching what's going on, which is encouraging to me.
Mhm.
And it does give us an indication as to which direction they're leaning, to your point, if you're paying attention.
So I didn't know there were 2. I knew about Smiley. I knew they had asked her. I didn't know that there was a second.
You were okay. I thought you were there when I told him.
Oh, maybe I took away. Okay, so there's at least 2. Okay, great. Maybe.
And one of them happened yesterday, by the way.
Right.
Oh, very interesting. That is very interesting.
That's encouraging.
Yeah, so you're not doing that if you're trying to cover this thing up. You know,
Correct.
you're not doing
Correct.
things like that.
Because the moment you do that, based on the information that you're asking for, you're tipping your hat as to which direction you're leaning.
Yeah, so it's a good sign. It's a very good sign that justice is coming.
Agreed.
It really is. It's slow. Justice is painfully slow, but you know the way these things go is everybody says corruption, corruption, corruption till the day there's handcuffs, and then it's like then they'll be celebrating the police because there's no warm up to it. You know, there's no they're not going to announce the date that this thing's going to be solved. It's just one day everybody's living their lives, and the next day their home's raided. That's kind of how it goes.
Well, and if we could all put our child in this situation, if we could put ourselves in Seth Rogers' shoes, we're all very familiar with the phrase double jeopardy. And
of course.
when you start talking about bringing your strongest case and getting it right the first time, as much as it pains me to say this, we really don't want them to hurry.
No, I agree. I agree. I am encouraged that they are still gathering evidence, reaching out to creators for interview clips. It's a great sign that they are doing their due diligence. It's just slower than anybody would like. We're an impatient. Everyone's impatient. We all want justice, and of course, more than anything, there are ways you could look at this situation and think maybe he's alive. You know, there are some. It is still a possibility. And so they also have to be cautious for those reasons about how they go forward too, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And I made another comment, and then I'm going to let you guys get back to your show. I made a comment to you guys earlier today that in the one other case I've been involved in, you know, when you're getting over the target as a PI, as a content creator, as a civilian, because you're going to get that phone call from law enforcement that, hey, you've stumbled upon something here and it's not something we want discussed.
Right.
And in a roundabout way, I believe that these content creators stumbled onto something.
Yeah.
Right. There's got to be something there.
Yeah.
Um,
Because we know how law enforcement feels about content creators. And in order for them to reach out and ask for assistance,
Yeah.
they had
Can't blame them.
Yeah, they had to have had something that that either they wanted kept private or that they wanted to take a better look at.
Right.
So,
Well, I would think I know you're saying you're going to be going soon. I just want to say thank you so much for sharing all of that information with us. There's so many people invested in this and just want to discover what the truth is, even if it's painful, like what we've been hearing tonight. That we can't shy away from it. It's the reality, and it gives us a little more clarity on what was going on leading up to his disappearance, which is very important. It's maybe the most important part. But I really appreciate you coming and doing this. Do you guys know? Have you and Seth talked about the next time you're planning on doing a live? Are you doing one this weekend or waiting a while?
we actually have some things we're going to address, and we will be having a guest on with us, and it will probably be this Friday night.
Great.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Great.
Well,
I guess we'll clear our schedules.
we'll clear the decks. If you would like us to mod again, we'll be happy to do it.
Yeah.
And
Of course.
yeah, and we'll make sure we promote that when you guys pick a time and all that stuff, and let everybody know about it.
We sure appreciate you guys. Auntie, Mrs. E, you guys have a good evening. And chat, appreciate you guys supporting the E family.
Aw.
Thank you,
Thank
Tony.
you,
You're,
Tony.
thank you for everything you're doing for Seth, and thank you for coming and joining us tonight.
We appreciate you.
Very much.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
You
You
too.
too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Wow, that was incredible. So thank you so much to Tony Mathis, spokesperson for Seth Rogers, for sharing a lot of information that we had never heard before.
Do you want to go over
we
this?
talked
Because
to-
we've had some people come in. Let me real quick say hello to some of the people that have come
Sure.
in. Justin, of course, has come in. Welcome in, Justin. I saw Brittany J. Welcome in, Brittany J. And then we've had some people join. Auntie, can you help me with that?
Hi, Brittany. Hope you're doing great and had a good Thanksgiving.
Let's see. After Annie Banani, we had. Let's see. We saw Justin. Justin, thank you
Yeah,
for being a
thank you,
member for
Justin,
2
and-
months, and thank you for sending 1,300 people over.
Yeah,
Well,
sorry,
please.
didn't mean
And
to
while you're
derail
here-
your deal tonight. I'm sorry.
While you're
about
here,
that.
hit the like button. We have that video that we share when we get to 1,000. So
I like
It
his
shouldn't
when
be
he gets to
hard.
1,000. He's got a really funny one when you get 1,000.
I was watching the live. I don't know if I was watching on I think I was watching it live. Yeah, because I was like 9:40 something, and so I got to see the little chicken party. I don't usually get to see it live. But that was
It's
pretty
really
good.
funny.
Really
I
funny.
go live all the time.
Yeah, I know, but still, I'm sorry if we messed things up for you, but I appreciate you coming over to check that out.
I was trying to acknowledge Ann Lizbeth became a member. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And Geraldine 51 became a member. Thank you so much. Alley Cat became a member. And R. Taylor gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, R. Taylor. And again, prayers to R. Taylor's son. We appreciate you, and we hope your son gets better. And then Brittany J has been a member for 3 months. Thank you, Brittany J. And she says, I appreciate you all. Well, we appreciate you too. We have decided, just on a side note, that you should narrate children's books because we
yes.
think your voice is very soothing.
It is. It would be good. It would be very good for that. So we've told you that before, but you've got
I don't
a
know if
great
we told her children's books.
Oh, that you just got a great broadcaster's
yes.
voice in general.
Mhm.
And so, but children's books would be a great fit, I think, too. So if you are joining us a little late, we were talking to Tony Mathis, and we had talked to him a little earlier today. He said he might come on tonight. We didn't know for sure because he was traveling and everything, but
A little off topic, but that's okay.
yeah, it was a little off topic. But we didn't know for sure if he would be here or not. It was going to be kind of if he could. And we knew a little of this going in, but we didn't know a lot of this.
So maybe go over it again for the people who have just joined, because we've had a few come in since then.
And feel free to correct me, Auntie or Mrs. E, if I'm messing this up. I'm just going by the notes I took as.
Are you kidding?
I'm giving you the green light.
All
Giving you the
right.
green light. No pushback from me. So I messed up my camera. So what I guess apparently somewhere on one of the streams or TikTok or somewhere, somebody put out information about Seth with an email looking for a boarding school or a behavioral school for Sebastian. I'm not quite sure and what that was all about. And then something about his home not being proper or whatnot. I don't know. Anyway, there were some partial truths that were put out, kind of spawning these rumors. So he wanted to put all of the information out so that there was no confusion on the timeline of how all this played out. And if you have not heard this yet, if you're now joining, this is going to be a little bit shocking. So in October of 2022, okay, so 2 school years back from Sebastian going missing, they had already started to have discussions about Sebastian going to live with Seth. But Seth, I'm guessing because he's a single parent and would have to
Well,
work
no,
at night.
he got him on the waiting list.
Right, but that's why he would have to do the online school because of his schedule.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right. So I'm guessing something along those lines was part of the reasoning for this. But they do have these online schools you can do that are kind of like homeschooling, but they're just online schools. Our son did one during COVID. And anyway, so they applied for that. There was a huge waiting list, so he couldn't get on that year. The summer comes. So by the fall of 2023, a half year before Sebastian goes missing, there's still a waiting list and he can't get approved to go on there. So then he starts the school year at Beach High School, and not long into the year, around November or so, I guess he's been having trouble in school and behavioral issues and all these different situations. So they were looking at having him go to a behavioral center, almost like a boarding school type of situation for children with, behavioral issues. And the one they were looking at was not far from their home in a town over in Gallatin called Bledsoe Youth Academy. Seth, in theory, was okay with it until he looked into the school, and they had a few children pass away under their care. And then somebody in our chat also said, yes, I'm familiar with that school. They've got a terrible reputation. So I don't know anything about them. Not to disparage them, but I'm just saying this is just what they said. But anyway, the school apparently has had some terrible situations.
Yeah, I'm looking at their reviews. And I quote, inhumane conditions.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah, lots of 1 stars over there.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay, well, we can do that in a minute.
Yeah. So anyway, regardless, it's whatever the situation, he looked into it, wasn't acceptable, then went back, found a lady that helps place children in residence schools for behavioral situations, found 4 different ones. I've got the names of all of them, but I don't, Missouri, Texas, Wyoming, and Utah. And when they started looking at the price tags, Chris and Katie and Seth all together, they saw these were going to run around $5,000 to $10,000 per month. So you're looking at 6 figures a year for for a school like that, and that was not going to be manageable. This is around November of 2023 that they're doing all of this. But then in December, I think it is, he gets approved for the online school in Clarksville.
The first week of September.
Of December.
I'm sorry, December.
Yeah. So
2023.
He makes it through that waiting list. We all knew that there was an arrangement for him to go live with Seth. We just didn't quite understand why or how that had come about. But we knew that through various interviews that had been stated. So now we kind of have a little backstory on why this happened the way it did.
Right.
So now that he's approved to go to Clarksville's online school, the plan is after that school year, he's going to move to be with Seth, where apparently he was not having the same behavioral issues anyway, would go do the online school. And during the same period of time, so I'm going back to 2022, there had been 5 total CPS reports made, all involving the stepfather as the main catalyst for the report, even though in some of them Katie is mentioned. The main person instigating these situations were, according to Tony and Seth, the step parent. There was one that occurred in the 4th one, I guess, happened in November.
No.
And then the 5th one.
Let's see. Right. You're right.
Yeah. So the 4th, we don't know when the other 3 happened exactly, but the 4th one happened in November. And then the 5th one that is still an ongoing investigation was opened sometime in late January or possibly early February. And that
2024.
Yeah. And Seth has been able to read the other 4 in total, but the 5th one he's not been able to see because it's still an open, active CPS investigation, however that works. So, that happens. And then 3.5 weeks later or so, Sebastian's missing.
And this is all according to Tony. Tony said he is going to be sending us these emails to prove this to us as well.
Yeah. So I appreciate him doing that. We, of course, will not release anything like that unless he wants us to. And even if we do, we will redact or whatever, anything.
I think that would be,
that'll be up to him.
That'd be up to Seth and to,
yes. We're not going to release anything like that they send, but we'll verify it. And when we come back on our next live, we'll talk about that part of it.
Well, he knows we're all about the facts, so he knows we would probably ask to see them. So.
Anybody that's worked with us, they know we don't talk unless they tell us to talk.
Not tell us. They, say that it's okay to divulge information.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we protect our sources and we don't go.
Right.
We don't go tell everything we know. We try to protect all sources.
We're very practiced at that. So.
Yes. So that I saw Brittany J said that was heartbreaking, and it is.
It is heartbreaking.
5 CPS reports is
it brings in a whole new, to me, a whole new consideration for who's at fault. If the CPS system did not let him know about these reports, as they should legally have done, because he had rights as a parent, they could easily be implicated or sued if at the end of this,
a couple of things. I'm sorry, Auntie. I'll wait till you're done.
But no, I'm just saying, knowing what I know about CPS and what they're required to do by law. And I was, that's why I asked Tony, but they're required to report that to both parents. Unless a parent's rights are terminated, they have every right to know and they're supposed to be told. So the fact that he had to go to an attorney to get that information is
in the first place. Yeah.
In the first place is pretty incredible. And then, the fact that he disappeared while there was an active investigation is also very disturbing.
A couple things. Ginger for Rob says, thank you, family. I'm happy to be here. And then we also had Rosebud became a new member. Welcome, Rosebud. We appreciate you. Irony Rose, a member for 2 months. Much appreciation and respect. Thank you, Irony Rose, for being a member for 2 months, and Brittany and Rosebud. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. But I starred a comment here that I thought you might be able to help. They were saying that this, because we talked about this earlier, this looking for the behavioral facility was all prior to his autism diagnosis, which was in December.
Yeah, right. That is interesting timing also.
And we were discussing that. Yeah, we were discussing that earlier. So I thought that was an interesting comment. And then that was from Ava. I'll just put it up there so people can see. And then the other comment that caught my eye is Mrs. E. Remember the lady that says Katie was spotted in Oregon? There's an assistant living for high functioning autistic teens in that same city where she was spotted in. That's interesting. You might want to write that down.
Yes.
To look into. It caught my eye. Not everything's catching my eye. I apologize, guys. It's going by pretty quickly, even though we have it on 90 seconds, I think.
And
I've got it as slow as I think I can get it to go right now. So I apologize. We just have a lot of people here. And Cassie Roku says, sending love and light for Sebastian. Absolutely, Cassie. We appreciate you. And she's been a member for 1 month. R. Taylor says 41 seconds. That's funny.
I still can't keep up with the chat. It's really kind of it makes you a little speechless.
Yeah, it does. And but I mean, it's possible if I'm sure they have their side to their own story and if they want to reach out to us at some point and clarify something, we'd be happy to, listen to that and take any of that information, especially if something's inaccurate in this timeline. If you can clarify any of that, we'd be happy to do that.
And Dreaming in Blue Skies and Sandy Beach has sent us a super sticker. Thank you so much, Dreaming. We appreciate you.
I'm gonna
It's an
imagine.
avocado. Thank you. Say thank you.
Oh, thank you. Sorry,
His mind's going.
I know.
Guys, sorry.
Well, it was a lot. It was a lot.
It's a lot.
I mean, he told us a little of this today, but I didn't know all this. So
That's a lot. Yeah, I think that's why chat's going crazy.
yeah, it is, and because it's not often we get a lot of new information in the case, and this is just one of those moments.
Breaking news.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all knew. I think we knew there were at least two, and we guessed there were probably more, but we didn't know.
Well, you know what popped in my head when he was talking is I was wondering, Nancy Grace was very much like, "Are you sure that?" She was very accusatory on those reports.
Yes,
and basically they lied to her because they said those were the only reports, and I mean, they completely lied. If we go back and pulled that footage.
Yeah, that might be a thing to do. Go back and listen to all the times he's talked about CPS reports and see, because he kind of, I know in some of them he almost does the yada 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 thing.
Well,
like where he just goes like, and then blah blah blah.
I've been making an extensive timeline, and so that is one of those things that I could probably pinpoint the moments those things happened. And Hey Jude says, hello, E-family. Hi, Hey Jude. Welcome in, Jude. And send us a $2 sticker.
Oh, thank you so much.
Did you see Dreaming of Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches, the super chat for $9.99?
Yes. Thank you so much. I was trying to find Hey Jude's thing, but I can't find it. Well, thank you both so much. You guys are appreciated, and I know you guys all have been around a long time, and we appreciate you.
And Linda was wondering why he hasn't seen the final CPS report, and from what Tony just told us, that because it's an active case, they have not shared that yet.
It's not closed.
It's not
because
closed.
he's missing, so it's not closed, and so therefore he can't see it. But you would think he'd be able to, or I don't know how that works, honestly. Maybe somebody that has experience with that might be able to help us. I'm not sure how that works.
I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be a part of that case right now if I were, and the turnover is so great with social services and CPS that I know rarely did we get the same worker that we have 1 month, and then the next month they come in to check on the kids or do a home visit, and it's a different person. So I know the turnover is great. It's a very stressful job, and it's a very heavy job that weighs on you because of all that you see, and so it's not, and they don't get paid the greatest, so it's a difficult job, and a lot of them, the turnover is really high, so you don't have a lot of follow through with the same people, and therefore things get forgotten and dropped.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous job. I have a friend that does it, and she's been attacked and everything else, and it's a very tough job, and it doesn't pay well. It's got, so it's
got to be a very sad job too.
Oh, heartbreaking, one thing after another. And even the person, whoever was responsible for this, with Sebastian going missing now, they're carrying
that weight.
Yes, absolutely.
And welcome A Nichols to the Crime Dogs. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Someone was saying they had a question for you, but I can't find it, so
I know
we'll have to redo it.
I did see Car Guy wanted to know the schools again.
Sure, we can repeat those.
And so these are the 4 schools that had been recommended to Seth. That were all in that.
Writing?
Yeah, I think so. These were the 4 schools that were in that kind of higher price range. One was called Masters Ranch Academy, which was in Missouri. One was New Hope Christian, but he said that was in Texas. Mm-hmm. Oasis Boys Ranch in Wyoming, and Stillwater Academy in Utah.
Yeah.
So those were the 4, and they all were going to cost between $60,000 to $120,000 per year. So I said, that's a tremendous amount of money for anyone. And he was young, so it'd be, depending on how long you might have to be in that situation, possibly all 4 years of high school or something. I mean, it's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So you can understand why that wasn't tenable. But man, so it just helps us to kind of understand what was going on with these families and Sebastian a bit. Because what we've all been saying that all along, we felt like the answers have always been in these CPS reports to everything. That if ever we could get into those, and maybe even this one that nobody's seen, the one that's ongoing, that might hold the key to all of it. If there's a way to ever see that, and I'm sure investigators have. But to know that there were 5 in 2 years,
That's a lot. That's a lot.
You know,
Some of my worst cases, when I was in the school system, rarely had that many.
yeah, that is so sad. This kid was crying out for help to everybody, to grandma, to school, CPS. He was begging for some help. He needed it, and he didn't get it. He was completely failed.
NJ Robbins says, "Hi, Mr. Mrs. E and Auntie. May I ask a question? Since you have a child on the spectrum, is there not schools for the spectrum, but not necessarily it would be behavioral?"
Yeah, there are. And they can be expensive. We had looked at some when he was young, locally, that were really, but they were just out of
it was out of our range.
And but there's a lot of really good schools. If you've got the money to do it, they can work wonders.
Yeah, and we got really lucky.
They're expensive.
We got really lucky. We had a good behavioral therapist who started a school, and our son was one of the first members, if not the first member of the school.
Yes, and
it worked out. It worked out really well for us as far as the expense and everything. And he got to have ABA therapy about 40 hours a week. About 40,
it depended, but yeah, he usually was getting somewhere around that 30-ish or more hours per week of
ABA,
of therapy, speech, mostly ABA.
Well, he also had school, but it was the school was, they used the ABA method for school.
It was the same therapist.
Yes,
they would do the school during the day,
right.
Then the therapy would be in the afternoon. That was
right.
So it worked. It worked great.
We were kind of their pioneer, and they
you were kind of like the pilot for it.
We were very, very lucky, and it worked wonders for him because, as we've said before, our son, when he was very little, one doctor told us that he would never talk.
Not more than like a word or two command.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he could do a label word.
Right.
He could do colors and things.
But not meaningful.
He couldn't communicate. And of course he can.
He was communicating tonight. He does not like the transition.
He's going back to school tomorrow, and he knows it. So this is a rough day for him.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a high anxiety day.
Yeah, I was wondering if we were going to be able to even do this because he was really stressed. And so he had a lot to say today. But he does speak, and he's more of like a emotionally, I think, like a 3 or 4 year old, but his language has gotten progressively better. And I think if we hadn't had that ABA, and I think Aunt E can agree, it's amazing.
So that's why anytime I meet someone we always say ABA and diet. Tackle those two things and you're doing great. Start there.
And I think with Sebastian's case, the behavioral issues existed before the diagnosis. And so I think they were trying to address the behaviors. And the autism was a label that was put on him as well. But I think the behavior was an issue that they're wanting to get addressed through the school, through a specialized school.
Yeah. So, so
my mind's kind of blown by all of that stuff. So I apologize. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Our Taylor, I missed our Taylor. Our Taylor says, first CPS in California and 5 in Tennessee, 1 still presently open. How many more? We don't know.
Yeah, somebody asked about if they had any in the other state they were in.
Well, I guess we don't know.
I don't think I realized there was one in California. Was that?
Would that be because of the SA?
I have no idea.
Well, we don't. I don't. I guess this is just Tennessee, right? Because they've lived other places before.
No, these are just Tennessee.
So they theoretically could have several in California too, for all we know.
We don't know.
I don't know how many years they were out there, but I would guess he was only able to get Tennessee's. So there could be, who knows how many out there. So, Girl Mom 2 says, Mr. and Mrs. E, did y'all know that Sumner County formed a committee for protecting children on April 30th? All the meetings are recorded and are under the county commission meetings. I did not know that.
That might
No,
be
but
interesting
we'll
thing to
check
read
that
about.
out. Yeah. Make note of that, Mr. E. Well,
Yeah, I
you want
wonder.
me to make note of it so it can be read later?
Maybe we'll do it both ways and see if either.
Okay, I'll write it
which
down
one
too.
works. No, I did not know
Thank
that.
you,
But
Girl
I
Mom.
wonder if that was because of this.
And it could have been. This could have driven the need for it.
Yeah.
Mohawk
I
Mom
mean,
says
it's-
closing date for their home was September 2023. Mohawk Mom does know a lot of stuff. I will say it.
Okay, so a little over a year ago, they closed, bought that home.
Close
filed
in
for
time
full
for
custody.
when. Yeah.
So that's right
At
in the
the
middle of
same
all that.
time, yeah, that's interesting
God.
too.
Well, that's when the first stuff started, right? And
Yeah.
what was that the first, right? Or am I crazy? Or was it November? Was it November? Oh, at any
What do
rate,
you mean the first stuff?
the first reports. Did he say
He
what
didn't
the
say
first
the very
report?
first. He just said starting in 2022.
Oh, in 2022. Okay, sorry.
That from 2022 through that last one in January of 24, there were 5 total.
Okay.
You know, and that's not even 2 years, probably. You know, because it's barely, depending on what month that started.
Okay. Sorry, I thought that was interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
But that wasn't even what I was going for. I was going for something else and I got sidetracked.
but I know this is lots of folks are. I wish we could read it. I know it's flying by, and I wish we could catch everyone's thoughts
know.
on it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So all the secrets are coming out now.
Mm.
Yeah.
What it
So I
feels
mean,
like.
you know, these things aren't going to stay hidden forever. It's eventually going to come out, unless this thing is solved sooner.
Well, I think it helps with our timelines a bit.
It helps a lot.
You know, Justin has his study sessions. So,
I remember I've had this thought a lot.
There was one on September 23rd. I just got a text from Tony.
On September 23rd.
So write
And
that
what
down.
was that? 2022.
Do you mean the year 23rd?
Let me see what he said. Hold on. There was one on September 23.
September of 2020.
It's probably 23, just in September of 23.
So September, November, and then January. So you had 3,
and they closed on their house also in September of 23.
Yeah. So he had 3 basically in the fall and winter,
Gotcha.
and it's 2 sometime prior.
We
to
may
that.
have to reset or redo the hoodie one. I think. I'm not sure because this is kind of.
Yeah.
We have to do this.
change
Talk
that
about the
thumbnail.
hoodie on Wednesday.
Well, we could still.
We could
a little
talk
bit
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Hi,
mean,
Busby. Thanks.
everybody's
for
talked about
Oh,
the hoodie.
Busby, love Busby.
Hi, Busby. Good to see you again.
Sorry, there's a person that keeps asking a question. I keep missing it.
Who is it?
I don't know. Let's see.
And I kind of agree with.
Oh, okay. Henhouse keeps asking, why can't Seth put charges on CP and KP for abusing his son? I don't know. I am not an attorney or a law enforcement officer.
And Crystal said it would have been better for them to explain from the first day, and they did not. No, I mean, I think this is taken a long time for this information to come out. But I also think Seth was working on getting the information. He had to get in a lawyer, you know, I think that some of this they didn't necessarily want out, but they have to do this to clear the information, the misinformation that has come out.
I will say,
I think
too,
that's what he's trying. That's the only reason they're talking about this today is because a part. I mean, it's true, but a partial piece of the puzzle was released to paint a narrative. So they wanted to give the full picture so that everything was understood. Otherwise, they wouldn't have talked about this at all.
Well, I will say too, around the time that Seth received those CPS reports, I mean, we can go back in the timeline, and I guess he was going to talk about it on Pascal, and then ended up he did not release them. Remember,
Right.
Around that time is when Seth's demeanor changed about a lot of things. So, something to think about. Okay, everybody get quiet. I didn't mean to make you guys get all quiet.
Someone asked, why hasn't CPS? And that's on. Hang on, sorry, the chat's going so fast, and I keep clicking on it and it goes away. Sorry, hang on. There it is. They said, why hasn't CPS reached out to Seth to address this open CPS case since they know he is now an involved parent? They're failing again. They have no excuse this time. I don't know what the procedure is. I would think in an open case, you still could talk with the other parent, but we don't really know. We don't know what their motives are behind, and they may be trying to protect themselves at this point.
Hey, Auntie, can you talk to chat for a second? I need to talk to Mystery.
I just want to say real quick, thank you for being here, Lady Tit for Tat. She said she's got it slowed down, but it's still going fast.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Oh, we've got.
You need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We can talk to chat and let you read.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, I see what you mean, Crystal. Crystal said, as a follow-up, she said, KP and CP should have explained from day one, not waiting on the dad to find out and say it is what I meant. Yes, I understand what you're saying. It would have been nice to have heard the correct information from the beginning. But obviously there's a reason it wasn't told. Hey, hi, CJ. Welcome in. Glad you're with us. And Cinderella, I love your name. And Gina, I'll see that they see that in just a minute. I see your comment. I will flag it so that I can share that with them. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot right now to reflect on after we've gotten this information and clarity on this information from Tony.
Well, so, yeah. Okay.
And No One Special said when she worked with the courts, some families had as many as 10 or more reports. Some families do. They do have a lot. And it depends on also the child can self-report. The school can report. The school's obligated to report if a child comes in and says, hey, my uncle is being mean to me and he's hitting me with the belt, or my uncle is locking me in a closet, or my aunt, is not feeding me or whatever. They're required, as many different incidences as are brought to their attention. They have to report that to CPS, and CPS has to come out. And sometimes they'll take the report and they'll have the information, and then they basically, once they investigate a little bit, they'll close it because they realize it was just a misunderstanding. But it sounds like to me these cases were more than that.
And I see that Hope Floats, a member for 2 months. Thank you, Hope Floats. God bless all the children of the world. Absolutely. And Jacob's crew, oh my goodness, thank you so much. In my opinion, we need to go back to the Nina story and see if a pattern with moving.
Sorry.
1010?
Tennessee.
Okay. Oh, maybe moving to Tennessee.
Moving to Tennessee.
Gotcha. Stories are seemingly similar in some ways. Love the ease and the facts. Thank you. Oh, well, thank you so much. We appreciate you. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you,
Jacob's crew. We appreciate that.
Well, since he's not paying attention, I will. No, I'll do this. Look. Haha. I'll do my thank you. And we only have 809 likes out of 1620 in chat. If we can get those likes up, only 200 more, we will be doing our video that you guys like. So
sorry about that. I don't mean, I hate to ever step away from the stream, but sometimes we just have stuff coming in that I think this was surprising news to everyone, and people are wanting clarification on it and things like that. So anyway, so Mrs. Information, Erica says, CPS cases are very protected. You cannot speak freely on them in this kind of situation. As you can see, Tony only could say the amount of cases and nothing else. Right. Can't go into any, details and specifics like that. So,
and I'm sure they don't want that out there. They don't want that information, even if they have it, they don't want it out there.
Right. I doubt it would have come up at all.
Information
if they didn't have a reason to.
There had not already been a partial leak of one of the emails, and then they wanted to put their story and whatever out there too. So that seemed, at least that's how it appears to be, that was their intent there.
And CJ came in. Hi, CJ.
Hi, CJ.
I think there's some other people in here that I missed. This chat's just moving so fast.
Yeah, I'm sure there aren't. So if we miss everyone.
And this question's come up several times in past shows. It says, I wonder if KP is getting a SS check for Sebastian. You have to meet a certain income level in order to get those checks for a child with disabilities. And he was just diagnosed with a disability just months prior to his disappearance, but they do not, in my opinion, would even begin to be close to the threshold in order to receive extra assistance.
And honestly, it's a long process. So if he was just diagnosed in December of 2023 and went missing in February 2024, there probably, was no time to have gotten those going, because there's evaluations and all kinds of things that have to be done for those. And then let's see.
So Mad Mama Bear, Shirley H. Thank you very much.
You, Shirley.
Says CPS does investigations on both the mom and dad and their mates to see what is best for the child.
Thank you for that. We appreciate you. Let's see. And Spirit Seeker Squad, member for 2 months. Thank you so much, Spirit Seeker Squad. I love Spirit Seeker Squad's videos. So
yes, always happy to have you here. Yeah. So I know that's
kind of shocking,
kind of surprising news for everybody. We'll have to kind of roll that over in our minds for a bit and kind of add it to the timeline, which is getting more and more.
Are still questioning the SSI money. Would the birth diagnosis qualify him for SSI? He had a disability since birth. Yes, it was Go ahead.
Yeah, but it can't. Well, it could but it depends on income, right?
It's based on income.
Yeah.
So, honestly.
So when he was young, probably.
He might have qualified for it, but that doesn't mean they got it or took the time to do it, because as we know the process is big and long, and it's difficult. So, I don't know.
I would guess he wasn't, but
I would guess no, but that's not really, we don't know.
I think I would be surprised if he was, but there's no way to know because there's a lot of factors.
Hold on one second.
So, so we'll have to just kind of plug all this into the, over time, the timeline is getting a little more clarity with everything, like from Seth's interview the other night, with the 622 text, and his first few days and when they searched his apartment and everything there. But then also, with this new video with the Green Hoodie person.
Yeah.
That's kind of, removed all doubt about when he left Texas Roadhouse, if it was earlier or later in the night, that kind of thing. So we know he left at 6:22 that night.
Right.
So anytime we get a little piece of firm evidence, that's a, it's a great thing. And I know only a handful of people, I believe, have seen the video. We have seen it, so we did want to kind of give our. If you're okay, if we talk about this.
Yeah.
Talk about this
I'm gonna have to put some kids to bed, so it might be you guys for a minute.
Okay. Okay.
Do you need my timeline stuff, or do you need me to pull anything up for you before I go?
No, I don't think we need. No, because we're not going to show this video. We can't.
No.
And we all three have seen it. We just are not going to be sharing that, and
So-
we've been asked not to. So.
I know. Clutch Them Pearls. Justin, I think was the first person to talk about it the other night, and did a great breakdown of it. And so we just kind of thought we'd give our opinions and how things appeared to us too. And I haven't really talked to you about it, Auntie. So your thoughts on it might be different than mine anyway.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it
And I'll
other
be
than
back.
just watching it.
Yeah. So, if you can kind of visualize the way the camera is angled, it's, you've got the Texas Roadhouse on the right, the parking lot's on the left, and you can see Katie and Sebastian both leaving. They're not speaking to each other or anything at all. To me, they didn't look really emotional in any way. I didn't see like anger, sadness, joy, like anything. They were just both kind of low key.
Wow.
Just kind of, nothing exceptional about their demeanor when they were leaving. They both they're parked on the front row, so that when they come out, they're walking straight to their car. And Sebastian goes, of course, over to the left to go to the passenger side. Katie goes to the right to go to the driver's side. And there is a man in a yellow, I guess it's like a raincoat, but it's kind of more like
a raincoat or a slicker.
Yeah, it's not exactly like a raincoat. It's kind of like what you might wear if you were going to go fishing, maybe.
Yeah,
but
it's
not
kind of
like
like
Horton's
an
fisherman.
outdoorsy coat. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so definitely a weather jacket of some sort. If you were, an older gentleman, he kind of walks away from them, and I know we're not seeing the full.
Yes, we did see the video.
We did, yes, we did get a chance to see it, and we've watched it, of course, over and over.
Yes,
it's not the full thing; it's just the kind of important parts, And so, of course, they're going to want to talk to anybody that's caught in that video if they can, because the guy in the yellow jacket, who knows, he might have seen something in the parking lot or heard a comment or anything that might have stuck out and not realize he saw evidence. There's also the person with the surgical gloves. It looks to me very young. You only see him from behind. I would guess he's probably like a 16, 17-year-old male, but really thin, like teenager thin, That's how he appeared to me. Maybe he saw something because they were all in the parking lot around that same time. The interesting person is the person in the green hoodie. And what you see is that person is sitting in the passenger seat in a car on the same side that Katie has to walk toward. And before Katie gets there, this person gets out of the car, kind of standing in that little gap between the vehicles. And there does appear to be some kind of exchange, like a wave or a handoff or a conversation. You can see the person in the green hoodie's like hand come up, and it's hard to tell if they're waving or handing something over. And in the meantime, Sebastian's on the opposite side of the car, and he's waiting for Katie to unlock the door. Like, so he's just kind of standing there waiting for the door to open. So some time goes by during this brief encounter. And then the person in the hoodie then walks past Katie's car towards the restaurant. And you can, at times, you can sort of see a face, but not any features. It's very, it's not grainy. It's just far away. And it's right at the edge of the camera. So sometimes the head gets cut off where you can't see the face. And then that person's moving kind of quickly. On that film, it looks like an olive colored, maybe military colored, but it could be brighter than that because you don't know the quality or the tone that the camera's at. So it's hard to know for sure what color it is.
Somebody asked about the yellow. I don't think the guy in the yellow was significant at all. But it was more like a big bird yellow, not a mustard yellow. It was like a brighter yellow.
Right. Yes.
But I don't think, do you think I don't think he really was relevant other than we see him in the video.
He just happens to come out at the same time.
Right.
So he could have seen something happen in the parking lot when he was off camera or heard something. If because this is the thing is these people, these three people, other than Katie, these are the last people we know that saw him at all. And you never know. They could have heard an argument in the car, or they might have seen what this person handed off.
Right. And they said, were they painting for money? No, it didn't look like anything like that at all.
No, it just looked like he exiting the restaurant, leaving. That's what it looked like walking a different direction. If they were walking out the front door of the Roadhouse, the yellow coat person was making a left, going away from Katie's car, and the person with the gloves, they were walking towards the restaurant.
And somebody wanted to know if it looked like the guy in the hoodie was wearing a baseball cap under the hoodie.
I didn't think so. Did you?
I didn't think it was so hard to tell. It could have been, he could have been, but the hair looked dark to me. I don't know if it looked like that to you, but it kind of looked dark. And so I couldn't tell if there was a hat under there or not.
Yeah, that was hard to tell. I don't know for sure if it's a male or female. I think it's a shorter person. Like not somebody that would be like 6'2" or anything like that. I would guess they were like 5'8" or 9 or shorter even. Just because of the height of the rear view mirror where it comes up to them as they're walking past the car. Do you think that too? Do you think that they're probably shorter?
I thought they looked about the same height as her. I don't think they seemed shorter than her.
Well, I didn't think of it that way.
I was thinking they kind of seemed the same height as her. Pretty close.
How tall? Do you know how tall Katie is? I don't know if I've ever heard.
No. You've seen her in person. I haven't.
Yeah, but I've been.
I think she was probably sitting down. I don't know if you saw her standing.
I mean, she's not like a 5-foot person or anything like that. She's probably average woman's height.
I would say
I would guess she would be in the 5'4" to 5'6" range, maybe.
Yes, that's probably what I would guess too.
So this person wasn't significantly taller than her, so it could be a smaller male or a woman, I guess, maybe. Hard to say, but I didn't get the feeling that it was a really tall person. So
no, I didn't either.
And because of the hoodie, it's hard to tell if it's a male or female anyway.
Right.
The lettering, it's done in kind of like a curved way on the top row and then straight on the bottom. It does have that kind of college-y look to it. If I had to guess what that first letter was, I'd say it was a U. I know that's, it could be maybe an H or something else, but to me it looked like a U and then an A.
It looked like the U was very clear as far as the letter. I first thought maybe it was an O and you just couldn't see the top of it. But I think after I watched it more and tried to zoom in on that part, it looked like a U. I think it was a U for sure.
And then it had these real long white drawstrings also. And so I just, we've been playing with different ideas about what kind of college or maybe one of the local high schools. I can't find anything that's just like a perfect fit for those letters though. So it made me think that it might be like a, how like a Old Navy and a American Eagle and places like that would do like
kind of the fake university shirts.
Yeah.
Yes.
It made me think of that kind of style. Like maybe it's just I
think it could have been that too. I first thought like UAB, and someone else mentioned that, and then I was like, but the letters were kind of shorter and stockier, so I couldn't really. I mean, it's very hard to see. It's not like it's just clear video. It was hard. Well, it was hard to discern what it was.
So we were just talking about the hoodie and the people in the party.
What do you want to know?
What?
I've got it right here. What do you want to know?
Oh, well, don't put it.
I'm not putting it on the screen.
Oh, no. What our opinions were on the hoodie. Did you think that person was a male or female?
I think male. I think I caught a 5 o'clock shadow on it when I slowed it down.
So. Okay. So leaning toward male. Something else I thought was kind of interesting was that they're sitting on the passenger side and it looks like they're alone on the passenger side. In the parking lot. Like, I don't think there was anybody in the driver's seat. It doesn't look like there is. So why is a person sitting in the passenger seat in the parking lot and doesn't get out until Katie's coming to the driver's side door? Because you don't see somebody walking up from that car from the driver's side.
This is what I'm talking about.
Of course, we're not seeing the full video.
Right there. It could be a shadow.
Boy,
I know.
that's like that. Those what do you call them? The Rorschach tests or the the ink blot tests or whatever. What do you see when you? I look at stuff and like that, and it's hard for me to discern. That is not my gift.
Right. Oh, sorry. I'm still off camera.
Yeah,
My
I mean, it's like
preference.
you're trying to zoom in on a far shot, and it's hard to tell what you're seeing exactly. But yeah, but it doesn't look like there was anybody unless, I mean, they might have gotten out earlier, but why was this person sitting in the passenger seat waiting and doesn't get out until somebody walks up on the driver's side?
Mm-hmm.
And then they get out of the car, which would be kind of awkward and a weird thing to choose to do. Because
Mhm.
clearly she could see that somebody was walking up, and that's when she decided to get out. That's why it makes you think there might have been some kind of knowledge of each other. It could be something very simple, like recognized her from work or from the neighborhood,
Well, I thought it
from
was.
school or something.
I
you know?
thought it was possible too that it was just a you go or I go. Who's going to go first?
It
you know,
could,
that
but-
kind of situation.
but they had to see her walking up.
Well, that's
to
true.
and
That's
then they
true.
decide to get out of their car. And sometimes people are just that inconsiderate. So maybe it was just a simple of, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to get in your way. You go first. You go first. But there was clearly some kind of like conversation between them.
Right.
Either way, or there was some exchange, because it does kind of appear their hand. You can see a hand come up,
Mm-hmm.
something, whether it was a wave or handing an object, whatever that might have been, who knows? But it's important to identify that person, just because, if they're investigating, they want to be thorough and investigate anyone that had contact with her the night he went missing, especially if that might be the very last person to have seen Sebastian before he disappeared, other than the mom.
Did you already, T and
I
Nurse?
did not.
Thank you, T and Nurse. We appreciate you.
Let's see. Tennessee Nurse says, I keep getting told by a reliable source that a search warrant has not been issued for the cell phone carriers. I was told there's not enough probable cause for one to be issued. If true, they are missing a whole lot.
I agree.
That's wow. Well, then
I mean, like I talked before about, the phone forensics and what they can do. They can really tell you a lot just by where they ping and where they go. I would be shocked if they didn't consider that.
I trust that your source is telling you that. And they're flying blind if they can't get the cell phone records.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
They're missing a ton. Not enough probable cause. Well, they'd had enough to get a warrant on the because they had to have one to do the site, the trash site, right? Because our understanding is they would have had to have had one to do that.
Right.
So a judge won't sign off on it? Or a superior. I guess it could be. Or the DA, because it's got to go through a series, right, of people to get that warrant. So somebody's stopping that. Or could the carriers be fighting it themselves? Because I know sometimes these companies, sometimes they are sometimes they're cooperative, but some are not.
Right. And sometimes Auntie will tell us with her favorite case, it takes a while to get that stuff.
So you know a lot about that part. Did they ever discuss how difficult it was to get a warrant on that?
They didn't have any trouble getting a warrant to do it, but it took about a year to get it was a tedious process to get the warrants and to get the cell phone carriers to give them the information, and then they actually were waiting on the technology to be developed in order to apply it to their phones to see what they wanted to see. It was crazy. But it can take some time, and the technology is available now. That was going on during that case, that they were coming up with more extensive ways to show like a path, like where the phone went and where it pinged at this exact minute, and then the next minute where it was, and the next minute, and then where another one of the phones were, the son's phone and the wife's phone, and what happened, and the wife's phone gets picked up and it gets thrown, and it even shows, and they coordinate that with the vehicle and the OnStar, and they can say the rate of the car at the time that the cell phone went into a field, and that the car slowed down in the exact spot where the field was, where the phone was found. I mean, there's so many things they can do, but it does take a long time. It took them almost a year to create the map of what happened in the timeline.
Wow.
But it was very extensive, and they were also looking at more than one phone.
And Tugs on Heartstrings is asking, could the hoodie logo be a union or Teamster logo?
I was just rewatching it again.
I don't know.
It's so hard to see.
It is, and they kind of walk quickly once they leave.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little blurry at times.
I can see her
and their arm kind of blocks a lot of the lettering.
Yeah. I can see her hand with it. Looked like she had like a key,
We don't know if it's a he or a she. I think
no. I'm talking about when Katie walks out in her hand. In her hand, you can see what's in her hand, and it was like a key on it, like a lanyard type of thing, and she was kind of twirling it.
There's also at one point there's a little bit of a hint of a vehicle as well.
What do you mean?
I can't really make it out, and
I can show you, but
I can see her vehicle. I've looked at it so many times, and my eyes start crossing.
Yeah, and the vehicle that person comes out of, you can't really, maybe an expert could, but we couldn't break it down to figure out what kind of. It looks like it's some kind of,
an SUV
of some sort, lighter colored. Maybe I don't know. I would guess it's like a silver gray. Does it look silver gray to you? Hard to say.
I'm gonna slow it down again.
It's definitely not a super dark color, so it's not black or anything like that. But it does look like possible vehicle that in the family. Maybe
possibly.
But I don't know. There's a lot of cars that look like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it did look like they had a conversation, although brief. So it could be someone that they knew, like maybe a family member or neighbor or friend or whatever, acquaintance from school or work. Or maybe it was just a completely random bump into each other kind of thing as that person got out of the car. It's just, it's hard to say, but I can understand why they want to talk to the hoodie person in particular.
Right.
Because there, who knows what she said in that exchange. She might have even got a sense of if she seemed agitated or in a hurry or upset or anything. You definitely want to talk to that person. So they may have information that they don't even know that they have.
It's either a blue or a silver. I'm looking at it in slow-mo, but I cannot see.
Oh yeah, you might be right. It might be blue.
It could be blue or silver. And I'm trying to see I'm trying to see what it is.
Another thing, this is kind of random on it, but Sebastian is wearing a short sleeve shirt.
I told you it was warm that day.
I know, but this has been a thing.
Black short sleeve shirt
with Grogu on it.
This has been a constant
argument.
I
got a better view just then. Look. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's just been one of those things that people have kept talking about how cold it was that night,
It
but it
wasn't
really wasn't that cold. It
It-
was a
a
It was kind of
day later.
Wasn't it
'cause
kind of, yeah, it got cold right after that.
it just, it just wasn't like this super cold night. Because when people talk about, oh, well, him leaving without a jacket and all this, and yeah, I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't like the winter that we had been having. So to see him in a short sleeve shirt was not that. And Katie's wearing like
She's got like a sweatshirt jacket or something on.
yeah, but she's wearing like the half pants, whatever, the tights type of thing, so she's not like,
Leggings.
yeah,
And people probably want to know about her demeanor. Her demeanor just seems normal. They both just kind of seem, just like
Yeah.
somebody going to their car.
yeah. That did not seem unusual to me either. So we all kind of felt the same way there.
You can kind of see it. It's blocked by to see
And
exactly what kind of car, but it's definitely gray or blue.
I know Seth said when he saw the video of Sebastian, and I don't know if it's the same angle or the same video that he saw. Seth said he thought he looked kind of sad, that he didn't look happy or something like that. But of course, we don't know.
We
I
don't have
know,
a point of reference.
Yeah, I don't know the baseline, so I don't know what his typical demeanor would look like. I'm sure Seth has a better idea.
Definitely like I think he just kind of looks blah, like they just got, like they're going home. I don't think it necessarily looks one way or the other, in my opinion.
And tugs on heartstrings. I looked up Teamsters logos, and I've scrolled through several. Whatever this is on the front, these typical Teamsters.
You can see the U.
It's nothing ornate like these. It's like college letters is really what it is.
You can see the U clearly.
Yeah, there might be some kind of little logo in the middle, but her arm kind of blocks it, or his.
It almost looks
I keep
like
saying her too, because my initial thought was it was a lady.
I honestly can't say for sure. I'm going by a shadow that looks like it could be like a hint of a beard, but I'm not 100% sure either.
I'm probably going to keep saying she, even if it's not. There was something about the hand that looked.
The hand does look
me.
small, and the person looks small.
It just looked like a feminine hand in my mind, and that's where but the body type is not like thin, so it's not a waif-like type of lady or whatever. It would be not an overweight person, but a broader shouldered lady, maybe, if it's a girl.
It's just
in a sweatshirt, it's so hard to tell.
It's so fast.
See the U. The U is like starts at the top of the shirt, like it'd be here, and you can see the U clearly, and then you could tell there's another letter, but you can't read it, and then there's another word underneath that, and it's more of like it's kind of like an army green, more so than it's not a Kelly green or even like Mrs. E's sweater. It's more of a darker green. That's more of that army color green.
More towards an olive.
Olive green's a good color. The good way to summarize it.
Yeah.
And I see people that are upset that it was only released to creators. Yeah. And Justin says it's difficult to see. I think that is.
I mean, I'm sure they've got a reason why they don't want to put it out there yet.
When they ask you not to show it, you don't show it. That's
not our call. I suppose if they feel, my guess is, I just think of how I would do things if it were me. I would want to try to locate the people first on my own.
Correct.
Before I asked for the public's help. So if they can't locate these people in a week or so, then it would not surprise me if they start pulling some clips from
sorry.
it.
That's okay. You go ahead, and then I can do.
That's what I would do. I wouldn't put it out there yet either until I knew who they were. And then if I felt like, who's Green Hoodie? Let's find them. Let's get the public to help. Then I would put it out there too.
And thank you, Rubicon.
Yeah, thank you, Rubicon. But I think that's what they didn't say. That's why they just asked us not to show it.
And then it's a very similar question from Island, Hawaii. Where did the video come from? Well,
I don't know.
I'm not sure that we're able to reveal our sources on any of this. So
yeah, I don't know exactly how that all happened.
We do know that it is authentic, and we can see that it is Sebastian for sure.
And I know Justin has seen the same video. So
yes, maybe others. I'm not sure. I don't know who else has seen it, but we.
We were asked to not share it, so that is, that is our MO. If someone asks us not to share something, we don't share it. And there's got to be a reason behind it, because otherwise they would have just shown it to the public.
Yeah, and there may
It's
come a
probably
point where they feel they need to.
Well, and then, they may think that it could hamper the investigation at this point.
Could. These are things we worry about all the time, not wanting to hurt the investigation. We number one priorities for this thing to get resolved legally, safely for him if possible. So that's the goal. And
Glenda says USMC, they use olive green.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting one.
Yeah,
Because I could see that. I could see that for sure.
that second letter though looks
It's so difficult.
I don't
It
see an
could be.
S
It
in
could
it.
be an S. It could be. I'm looking at it
maybe.
and going back and forth. You really can't see. And what did she say? What could be
USMC.
USMC?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I
What's
had
their
thought
mascot?
about that.
It looks
Well, no,
like
just
it's
say-
like a drawstring hoodie, possibly.
And
Because
Seth
you can
is,
see what's
hi,
the-
Seth, welcome in. Seth says we aren't releasing anything about the video currently. Thank you,
Right.
Seth, for clearing that up.
Thanks for
Yeah.
being here, Seth. You guys did a great job with your video a couple of weeks ago. It was very informative, and we all appreciate you doing that. It was great. But yeah, it's their call. Information is sometimes more valuable to hold it back until you need it. And unless it has a purpose to be out there in the public yet, then there's no reason to do it. Yeah. So, USMC's Marine Corps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that would fit in with the olive green. That's why they were saying that. It's just to me that the second letter, to me, it looks like either, because you had initially said you thought it might even be like fraternity sorority.
It sort of
because
looks like that.
Almost like a triangle. So she was thinking it might be like the Delta or something, or another A.
Mm-hmm.
So UA something possibly.
It's so hard.
That's
and
the
it's
least
so fast, but it's my understanding it's getting, worked on so that these things can be seen.
enhanced.
Well,
Mhm.
Mohawk Mom is clearing something up here. Sorry, closing on the house was September 16th, 2022. It was a typo on her side.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you, Mohawk Mom. So I
We'll need to change that in our notes. Yeah. Okay.
so that
Thank
would be
you.
right at the beginning of all these, alleged CPS reports.
Mhm. And I see Hindsight in here. Hello, Hindsight. I did like what Zoots and Boots says. Some creators understand protection standards completely. Sources and claims are handled competently. Sorry.
Yeah, we're trying to, and we're trying to make sure we want people, if we're going to do this, you want to have, and you're going to have people that trust you. Then you got to, you can't just go crazy releasing all kinds of information just for the heck of it. You've got to protect your people, or they don't trust you as a person anymore. So you got to protect those sources.
TN Nurse wants to know how many letters across the top. It's
I
hard.
would guess it's 4. I think it's 4.
I could say 3 or 4.
To me, it looks like the U, then that second letter is also still kind of curved. It doesn't look square to me. So I think there's at least 4 letters in there.
Trooper's mom,
But I could be wrong.
wants to know if it matches the size of this person.
Yeah, it could.
Could.
I don't know who that is, but it could.
It's possible.
Yeah, that'd be a similar body type.
Yeah, that's interesting.
They just look very average size. I mean, they just look
And
very average.
That's an unbiased opinion because I have no idea who that picture is.
Yeah.
I can't tell from there. But yeah, it'd be that kind of body type.
Oh, okay. Seth says it took me 6 years to accomplish SSI for Sebastian. That's what I was saying. It takes a really long time. So there's your answer,
Yeah,
everybody.
That was, yes,
They are hard
So
to work with.
It's a difficult thing to do.
it is a process.
And as the income changes, your, I guess, benefits, if you want to call it that, change as well. Let's see. The hoodie has white drawstrings in the video. Yes. They're white or cream. It's hard to tell. Feel free to jump in and answer any questions.
Sorry, I was
Yeah.
getting a message there.
And somebody said about the yellow raincoat again. I think he has absolutely nothing to do with it, other than we see him walk out. He just and he could be somebody that works there and he was taking a break or anything. But
I think
you can't really tell. I don't think
for
he has anything to do
me, the yellow raincoat looks like somebody leaving, just going home, leaving the restaurant. But I
Someone
mean,
said that their
who knows?
butchers wear some kind of outfit like that.
That what now?
That their butchers in the Roadhouse wear something like that. But he's got on jeans.
He's
and
got a mask pretty much up to his eyes. He's got glasses on, and
yes, and he's a bald-ish. He might have hair, but if you really can't see it.
He didn't seem interested in whatever Katie
No.
and Sebastian were doing. Like, no,
Mm-mm.
unless there's something, because we only see a little snippet of this, like 10 seconds, I suppose it is. And he, if he knows them, you think he might look back or wave or something, but there's no exchange like that.
seems to be going in the complete different direction.
Yeah.
So
But you still want to talk to this guy because,
who knows, right?
like I said, there could have been an argument in the parking lot or peeled out or
Anything.
you just
Got
don't
in his
know.
car and looked around and saw something interesting. You just never know. You want to identify this person for sure.
And if it turns out that the Proudfoots are completely innocent of any wrongdoing at all, then this person that talked to Katie, that may have been a predator situation, trying to
Correct. Right.
you
It could be anything.
that could have been somebody getting ready to follow or whatever. That could have been a deliberate bump into kind of thing or something.
No, the hoodie guy was not the one in the mask. It was the man in the yellow coat.
Yes. Okay. So just to be clear, when they first come out, they're standing in front of their car, and a man with a yellow raincoat that cuts off at about his waist comes out. He has a big mask. A big mask, like one of the biggest masks I think I've ever seen.
Almost like those in, what do you call it, N95?
The N95 types.
But
it probably is.
It's it looks like it's massive. And it goes all the way up to his glasses
from like side to side.
He has gray hair, a little bit receding, not crazy, cut pretty short. He has a white. I think
This is well after the peak of COVID stuff too. So
right,
people aren't really wearing masks that frequently in February of 23.
He got a little bit of hair back.
Well, you never know. It could have been a situation when I had cancer, they wanted me to wear one.
I know. I'm
So
just
it could
saying.
you never know.
I'm just saying that it is possible he was doing it as an attempt to conceal his identity.
I agree 100%.
It's not out of the
and we
realm of-
don't know that these people aren't working together in some
Or he might just, like you said, he might just be immunocompromised or just worried about COVID in the winter or something.
I do disagree with you, though. You said he doesn't look like the Gordon's fisherman. He's got a big white sweater or sweatshirt on and khaki pants. So
Yeah.
I think he does sort of look
Is
like
it khaki? I thought those were jeans.
I guess I meant like
Are those Well, I've got it slowed down and paused. It looks khaki to me, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
raincoat. I get
No, I
a
think
very
khakis.
specific picture in my mind.
Or
Yeah, I
light
think-
jeans.
If they're either very light jeans or khakis.
Yeah, I think
Kind of reminds me of a Columbia jacket, but bright
Yes.
yellow.
Yes.
It's like that.
That's what maybe a little bit more bulky than a raincoat.
And Katie's got on black shoes, black leggings, and it looks like a t-shirt or something, and then a sweatshirt jacket over that. And Sebastian has on jeans and a black t-shirt and black shoes. So you know what shoes he was wearing when he went home or got in the car.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's
They look like the black New Balance.
Right.
Oh, you can make out the brand?
Yeah, because it has a
Yeah,
big
you
M on
can.
the side, and it
You
looks to
can.
me like a New Balance.
And those were at the home?
I don't know. I'm just saying that was what he had on that night.
Well, I know if I remember this correctly, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I think the 3 types of shoes that were there were the boots, some what do you call them? Sliders? Is that what they call them?
Uh-huh.
Like slip-ons?
Like house
Like
shoes.
soccer shoes, yeah.
Yeah, I think he calls them
Oh.
sliders,
Oh,
and
Soccer
then
slides, yeah.
a pair of sneakers.
Yeah. He has on the black sneakers.
But is it these sneakers?
I don't know.
You know, because if it's not those sneakers,
Well, Seth is here. He might be able to answer that.
and he may not be able to answer that.
Yeah,
if
he might not be
can't
able
answer
to.
that. That's okay. I'm asking the question for our purposes, but if
And
that's
I'd like
information you
I'd
need to
like
withhold, I understand.
It'd be nice to find the guy that was walking in as they were getting in the car too, because there was another guy that walks through the frame with the black hoodie on and a black cap and jeans.
That's the one I think is a worker because
Yeah.
he's got surgical gloves on.
Oh, I didn't tell you this. So I drove over there today.
Well, you had to go.
I was over there anyway. So
Yeah.
it's right by Sam's Club, and I went to Sam's today. And so I was like, oh, you know what? I wonder, because we knew about this person walking back with the surgical gloves, and I was curious if there was a dumpster over there, and there is.
Oh.
So if he is a worker, he might have just thrown trash in the dumpster and was walking back to the restaurant. Because I know just from waiting tables years ago, sometimes people would put on those kind of gloves just to go dump trash because they didn't want to get the
trash
gunk.
on them.
Yeah, they didn't want to get the gunk on them.
Because there's nothing worse than restaurant trash.
Yeah, it's bad.
you
Those
know.
bags leak all the time. So if that kid was, because he looks like a kid to me, he might have just gone over to the dumpster. Still would be somebody that you would want to talk to, because he actually was looking in the direction of Katie's car as he was walking back. So if there was any exchange of any kind of anything of note, any argument, maybe he saw what got handed off. You just don't know what could have been said. If that person walking in with a hoodie was unusual acting, there's no telling. So I'm sure they're going to try to identify that person as well. Well, I know they are because they're trying to, they put out the at night notice, those 3 people that they wanted to speak to.
Actually, we wanted to go over that at some point. Do you want to go over that?
Sure.
I can get that pulled up. Well, Auntie, if you want to talk to people in chat.
Okay.
While
I
I'm
was
getting it
checking out
pulled
the
up.
new comments.
We are also just 41 away from
Wow. Guys,
from
give
our
thumbs up.
Machete party. It's
You
not
want
as
to
good
have-
as the chicken party that Justin does, but
No, his is pretty good. The chicken
it's a
party
pretty good
great.
party. We'll have to up our game.
Okay. Let's
So
see.
yeah, we have 959 likes. When we get to 1,000, we will show our Machete party video. Somebody said, Mr. E, you can't really tell the colors.
In slowing down the video
Yeah.
because of the chromatic adjustments.
Can't. Well, you can tell the colors of their clothes, and you can tell the color
Yeah.
of the sweatshirt.
Yeah,
And
it's green. It's just a matter of what shade it is in reality, I think.
Oh, it's definitely green.
It's just, it looks olive-ish, maybe
Mm-hmm.
military green, but depending on the setting on that camera, what kind of, because it does look a little flat, like it's not vibrant color.
Yeah, for sure.
So it might be a brighter green than that.
Although that yellow is very vibrant. I mean, it's like
Maybe
Yes,
it's even more vibrant than it is.
Oh, thank you. That
Can
wasn't
we-
what I was trying to click on, but thank you.
Mm.
Let's see. There was
I
one.
like it. That's a gray.
Sorry about that. I muted the mic. I hope that cough did not go through. I meant to.
No, it did not.
Okay, good.
It's a.
Somebody
Sorry.
said
I got caught up in the video again. I gotta go back.
somebody said that the Machete is comic genius. It is.
Aw, thank you. Let's see. So this was the post from at night. Let me get it pulled up. Can you read it from there?
Oh, I can make my screen larger.
Okay.
So this is from November 30th, so just yesterday. I don't even know if I've read this one yet or not. At night, private intelligence is issuing an important update in the search for 15-year-old Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Our ongoing efforts have led to the preliminary identification of 3 persons of interest in connection with the events on February 25th, 2024, the night Sebastian disappeared. POI 1, we have reason to believe this person has direct knowledge of what unfolded that evening and may hold critical information about Sebastian's disappearance. POI 2, this individual is believed to be working with the first POI in some capacity and may provide valuable context or corroborating details. POI 3, while potentially unrelated to the other 2, this person is believed to possess knowledge that could shed light on the events leading to Sebastian's disappearance. At this stage, we are not disclosing further details about these individuals, but we emphasize that identifying and speaking with them is critical to the ongoing efforts. Nationwide focus. We urge anyone with information about these individuals to come forward, regardless of their location. These persons of interest may not reside in Tennessee or may have traveled across state lines, making nationwide awareness crucial. Would you mind to scroll that down a little further?
Yes, I wanted you to see something there real quick. Sorry.
Okay.
Remarkable.
Yeah. Well,
Go ahead and finish reading.
yeah. So, if you have any information about these individuals or their whereabouts, please contact us or federal officials. We are incredibly grateful for the public support and patience. We encourage anyone with information to come forward and join us in this mission. Together, we can bring Sebastian safely home and establish a legacy of hope for others. So, so these people of interest, are these the 3 people in the video, or are these different individuals, you think? It's hard to tell who they're referring to.
I don't know.
Well, I think Nick is here. We could ask Nick if he can divulge that.
Well, I think you mean if they're the same. Say that again. What was your question?
Well, the 3 people, are these the 3 people that are in the video, or are these 3 different people that they're looking for?
Gotcha.
I mean, there might be a reason they're not giving better descriptors. They may be wanting the people of interest to identify themselves. I'm not sure.
No, that's a good question.
And of course, we just see a little snippet of the video.
Right, right. We don't have the whole thing at all.
I mean, I don't know how much they've got. They might have. I don't know if they only have this one angle, or they might have the whole. They might have the whole restaurant for all we know. We don't know what they've got. They might have multiple cameras and multiple angles, because they had the reward out. You know, they put out that offer for people that had photographs or any video from inside the restaurant. So they might have even had multiple sources aside from whoever provided this video, where they've got more information. You know, they might have had 3 or 4 people come forward with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. So we just have a little piece to whatever puzzles they're putting together.
Mm-hmm.
So very interesting. Well, I'm going to get out of this. So
Somebody's already
chat.
I'll take a picture of that.
Take a picture of what?
Oh, just something someone said. So I would have it. So the people give us such good ideas that sometimes I have to go back and look at comments later.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
I'll have to go back. Oh, we've got the Machete party.
Yeah. Oh, we do. Yay.
Yeah. So, let's do the Machete party, and we'll kind of do questions the last 15 minutes or so, and then kind of talk about this stuff, and then call it a night. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, thank you for the 1,000 likes. We do appreciate that. If you have not seen our Machete party, this
I got to verify it.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't trust the people
I love the people.
Well, we were really sticking to that. Let's verify all of our information.
Sorry,
Reputation there.
I've got a crime dog that wants on my lap who also needs a groom. Let's see.
Want to be sleuthing something. Says, I've been in the bushes trying to eat a bag of shell pecans with pliers because I don't have a nutcracker.
Trooper's mom says she went there today at 6:15 just watching too. I know. I bet a lot of folks have done their own kind of like just swinging by, just checking it out, seeing what the lay of the land is.
Want to be sleuthing something. If you have crab crackers, those work all right too.
There is something about that lot too, that whoever left, there's really only two ways out of that Texas Roadhouse. One is the most obvious and the most likely, and you have to go through a major intersection. It's like across the street's a movie theater and a Red Robin and a ton of other stuff. So very likely that they'd have any cameras of that spot. So if they were followed, or if there were as a different unusual car that they might have been looking for, hopefully they've gathered any information from that red light. They very likely would have gone through that intersection. There is another way that you could leave, but it's kind of more out of the way. You have to basically, I'm sure you've all seen a Sam's Club before. You have to go all the way across the Sam's Club parking lot. That's kind of awkward with lots of one ways and islands and stuff. But you could theoretically go out the side and out this roundabout, and you still have to go to a red light eventually. But if you did that, you're also going by tons of Sam's security cameras. So even if you're trying to be really the only way you would likely leave would be that one red light. So any unusual car, if police have saved all that information, if they're looking for Green Hoodie person, they theoretically could get that if they were able to retrieve that data before it got deleted.
And Fixin' to send us a super sticker of an avocado saying thank you. So thank you so much. That's very sweet of you. That's so sweet. Well, I guess I can't push it off any longer. Is anybody ready for a machete party?
Oh, I think they're all ready. Yes.
All right. Well, let me get it going for you guys.
And Busby said, Mr. E, next time you're there, see if the black railing in the back of the lot is still broken. It's just one rail.
Oh, he already asked you to do that and you forgot.
Yeah, I didn't drive. I didn't drive all the way back up there. I just drove. I was leaving the parking lot and looked over to my left and could see that dumpster. But I forgot you did ask me to do that. I'll do that next time I'm over there.
Ginger Girl is asking about the vehicle the hoodie guy drove, but we saw the hoodie guy that was at the passenger seat, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I think it looks
like the passenger seat. It's hard to tell if there's another driver.
You can't see anybody if they're in there. It's the way the glare or something would be. You can't, and they don't get out of the car at the same time. So it's like, why are you sitting in the passenger seat? Maybe they're gathering something. The other person went in quicker and the other person was getting stuff together or whatever. I mean, that stuff happens, but I understand why they want to talk to Green Hoodie. It may not necessarily be anything nefarious, but either way, they want to talk to them.
And Spicy Disaster, this is their third super chat, and said, wouldn't waste time looking for that jacket. They won't wear it again. And the hoodie is probably long gone too.
Yeah, I would guess you were probably right about that. But, but it could be in pictures on families' Facebook pages, or if it's a school or a military branch or something like that, though, it does kind of could point us in the direction of someone if we can narrow that part down.
Simpanon said maybe University of Alaska. I think that's definitely a possibility too. It's really hard to tell. It's really hard to tell, but it's my understanding that there'll be more clarity in the future.
And Cognizance in Crime says, is it just the fact that they briefly spoke that raises questions to these individuals possibly knowing something about Sebastian's disappearance, or is it more than that can't be said? Just asking. We don't know.
We haven't been told anything like that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no audio or anything on the video that we saw.
So we don't know.
And we don't know anything further than what was shared with us. So I don't know if
And
I would have to assume they have more video than what
Mhm.
they had, but I don't know how much more.
And Island HI, it's my understanding that Seth has seen a lot more than this.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Because he went to TBI and they showed he and Katie videos from Texas Roadhouse. So
Right. And different than what we saw.
he's already gone though, so
Yeah.
or gone out of chat. I mean, so well, I think it's time.
Yay!
All right. If I still have it, did I save it? I do have it. Okay. You guys ready? Let me see if I can put it on a loop. No, I can't.
She also said she was going to bring a machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
We do 3, right? The rule of 3 in comedy. Isn't that what we're doing?
Okay, fine. Somebody's asking if we can describe the vehicle. It looks like some type of gray or dark SUV. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
I cannot tell what brand it is exactly. I've got my suspicions, but I don't know,
The green hoodie, the green hoodie vehicle.
Yeah, I have suspicions. It looks similar to some other cars I've seen and that have been talked about. But
it's definitely not like one of those monstrous kind of SUVs. Like
a midsize.
It's like
maybe a little bit bigger than a midsize.
Yeah. It's not massive.
Okay, I'm gonna play it again.
She also said she was going to bring a machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
That's the best part.
Yeah, your favorite part's the side eye.
The side eye is my favorite part. I did get a little help with that. It was a little flat when I made it, and then Middle E gave me some editing tips. So
yeah, he's good with that.
All right.
All right, one more for the road.
She also said she was going to bring a machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Yeah, I told Seth he needs to make a shirt with that side eye because that's pretty good side eye.
It is the best side eye out there.
It's a good one.
Wow. So this was,
Tit for tat gets a kick out of.
I know the bounce. I agree. That's the funniest part.
Oh, one of we sleeps in something. Yes, I love Seth's side eye too.
An M.
What?
Oh, someone was saying, could it be an M as the second letter? Nanny Sharon says, I Googled it. Could it be UMO, University of Mount Olive?
I mean,
maybe.
It's pretty clear that the first one's a U.
Yeah.
It's just the rest of it that is so very difficult to see because it's just difficult.
It's just
the way the arms are.
Arm is forward. There could be a fold in the hood,
I'm getting a dog tangled.
So,
poor puppies need to be groomed.
They might have better angles, where they've been able to figure this out. And they might still be having people, sending them information, video and such, because I'm guessing that they're still willing to pay for good video of that day at the restaurant.
Mimi, I did not see the hoodie person drive off.
No, hoodie person walked towards the restaurant.
Yes.
No, it's like they're passing each other. Katie and the sweatshirt guy or girl, whoever, whatever.
Yeah.
They kind of
like
pass each other between the cars.
Yeah, it's like, so Katie's walking towards her car. She gets to about the car, and then for some reason, that's when this passenger gets out. They kind of have a moment or two. Sebastian's on the other side of the car waiting for her to unlock the door. And you can kind of see a hand come up from hoodie lady or guy. It could be like a wave, could have been like you go first, maybe, or they might have been handing something. It's kind of hard. It's just hard to tell but there was some kind of conversation or exchange there, and then the hoodie person walks on past the cars and walks towards the restaurant. Is that what you saw? Am I describing it correctly?
Yeah, exactly.
And Shelly asked if we think it could be CP. I mean,
And
it's hard to say. I mean, I suppose that they could come out and, clear it up. And
well,
I'd be happy to have them on here if they want to talk about it.
Yeah.
We're really just searching for truth here.
This is a possibility too. Like I've said, we don't know what the truth is on this. I mean, we know that they've got to be looked at first because they're the last people to see him, or Katie was. But that doesn't mean that we know anything. We don't have proof of anything. We don't know
have proof of anything.
So if it turns out that they don't know what happened to Sebastian, if that is the case, then this seeing hoodie person might actually spark a memory in Katie's mind,
right?
Where she could go, oh, you know what? I did talk to this person when we left, and because you don't remember every, if you're talking to police, I'm sure they tried to go back through everything, but you don't remember every interaction you have in a day. And I'm sure they went through trying to ask, hey, were there any suspicious people at the bowling alley? Did you have any strange things happen here or there or whatever? And I'm sure she couldn't remember them all. Nobody could.
Right.
Who remembers, if you're at a bunch of restaurants and bowling alleys and stores and stuff, you wouldn't remember every person you walked past or whatever.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, if this person was watching them, monitoring them or whatever, it could be important. So maybe she's got information she'd like to share, or if not with us, then maybe with law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she remembers that interaction. I could go tell them, hey, you know what? I forgot about this. But this person said this to me
right
in the parking lot, and maybe she knows them. Maybe
it could have been somebody that, knows from school or knows from work,
right.
or, who knows? Just like a, hey,
Yeah.
you never know.
It could have been that type of interaction, like, oh, hey, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Oh, we just had dinner. Okay, well, bye. It could have been that simple.
Those are my typical reactions when I see people out of place. I get kind of like, ooh, hi, how you doing? Nice to see you, and just kind of move on.
So anyway, it might be important information for her to have, because it might spark a memory for her too, if she didn't remember that interaction.
And Opinionated says it's too coincidental for it to be nothing on the night he went missing. I mean, that's a good point too. There's a lot of good points. It's hard to say.
I think it's interesting enough that I understand why At Night wants to find the person, but I couldn't tell you 100% that it's anything
Right.
nefarious, but I understand why they want to talk to them.
Well, I mean, this is a puzzle, and there are missing pieces that are starting, things are starting to come together. So,
yeah.
Soldier Girl's asking if there was audio. There's no audio on the video we saw. There might be audio that exists, but not on what we saw.
Yeah, the kind they may have sent us a version that had no audio. We don't know. I don't know what they would have. I mean, I guess if they did talk, then but Sebastian didn't seem to be speaking.
And it looks like Trooper's mom and Tennessee nurse have sent you something to look at.
Trooper's mom. Let's see. That's interesting, Trooper's mom. You've sent us a couple of interesting things tonight. That's a good one.
You'll have to send it to me.
No. Sorry.
Yeah, I see.
That's interesting. And then I think, let's see.
Yeah, K-Max says he was probably tired from his long day. If I had to describe him, I would say he did look a little tired.
Yeah, he was just kind of like,
he was kind of just slowly shuffling to the car, kind of like,
Well, and
kind of in a teenager-y kind of way.
Long day,
Yeah.
That's a lot. Let's see.
Yeah, I would say tired. Maybe even Katie, for that matter.
yeah.
They didn't have a, I don't know, but there wasn't anything crazy from to me from their body language or demeanor that stood out.
And some people, Debbie, we are not allowed to show the video. It was just for us.
No.
I know everybody would like to see it, but we're not allowed to show it.
Yeah.
I just realized something. Okay, can I
You want to mute a second?
I need to mute and tell him something. Can you talk to chat for just a second?
Sure.
Something just occurred to me.
Okay.
I gotta mute us. Hold on. I'll tell you later. Hold on.
Let's see. Yes, and if you have ideas of what that shirt could be, please let us know. And I think that we're all frustrated, but little pieces, one piece at a time until we can solve the puzzle. But Sebastian's always in our mind, and we always are hoping to get just those clues that we can help bring him back home. We haven't heard anything about a new vigil yet, but hopefully that'll be planned again soon. His birthday's coming up December 6th. So
7th. I thought it was 7th.
I thought it was the 6th.
7th, because it's Pearl Harbor.
Oh, Pearl Harbor. Okay, December 7th.
That's why I remembered it, because it's Pearl Harbor Day. Yeah.
If you have a chance, please say a prayer for him on his birthday.
I think that we should all light it up green for Sebastian on his birthday. Make your profile picture green. I think that would be something nice. Show your support for Sebastian.
Yeah, we will.
Busby asked Mr. E, since you've seen the video, in your opinion, which picture looks most like what he looked like in the video? That's a good question.
Oh, well, let's look. I will tell you, it was kind of gave me chills when I did see it.
Yeah.
Just to see him moving around and
right.
I'm gonna see the pictures, but I know.
I've got them etched on my.
It reminds me of.
I guess he means by age.
Yeah.
Right. I would say.
There was one of him. I think it was at school, and he had on a black T-shirt, and it looked the most like that one to me.
I'm gonna pull him up just to see.
His hair is shorter than I would have thought.
Yeah.
It maybe had a haircut recently.
That's true.
The
one. Would you say the one where he's in the that olive? Or that? No.
The one in the olive, he looks so old, and I don't think he looks that old in this.
No, he did. I don't think he looks as old.
He does look like a 15-year-old.
He looks like in between the glasses picture and the olive, kind of like an age in between that. Maybe more like the school picture.
I think
so if you've seen that
pictures.
The flyer with the $200,000 reward, if you see that one on that night site, those bottom two right-hand pictures.
He looked pretty. He looked less like the ones on the missing person posters. I think he looked a little older. Those seem like younger pictures of him.
I can pull up.
Yeah, his hair's darker to me than the younger ones. He's getting to be a darker blonde.
Oh, definitely. Oh,
yeah. I think I'd say the olive and the school picture are pretty close.
I think at the olive he looks much older, but that's just.
And the hair was a little shorter than some of the pictures he's had.
Right. It was much shorter in that picture. I was trying to find the flyer. Hold on. Okay. So let me share that real quick.
And I don't know if we've mentioned this either, but so we haven't even been here since the $200,000 reward got raised either. That's how long it's been since we'd done a live. But
okay, so I think he looks mostly like the one in this shirt,
in the brown shirt.
Yeah, I think just the way he's smiling in the olive makes him look a little bit older than he looked in the
Video.
Yeah, I think his hair is more short, like it is in the school picture here.
Right.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. So if you were wanting to show something that was most accurate when he was gone, the shorter hair would be more. Yeah. That works.
Yeah.
And there's other pictures out there, but that gives you a pretty good idea, I think.
Well, yeah, K-Max got a good point. Wouldn't he look like the optimism photo? You would think so. I just think that photo in particular looks so much younger than what I'm seeing here.
Maybe it's just the.
Where's the optimism photo? Oh, it's not here.
I know. But
Sunny days. Thank you very much.
His haircut's more like the bathing suit or the school picture.
Yeah, it's much shorter.
It's much shorter. Is it? I mean, did he get a haircut that weekend? Because it looks really short.
It was. I would just
Shorter than the optimism photo. I'll tell you that.
She hasn't really talked. I don't think they really talked about their Saturday much. Maybe he got a haircut Saturday or something.
That's true.
Maybe.
Kind of a weekend type of thing to do.
I feel like I've got the optimism photo. I just need to look.
Yeah, somebody's commenting on he's skinny. Yeah, he is skinny.
Well, let's see.
He looks like a lanky teen.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if I had the optimism photo to see what I thought. For some reason, I don't have it. So, I mean, I know what it looks like. I've seen it a million times. It's probably on one of his posters, actually. Okay, yeah, it is. There it is. Okay. So I am looking at it. I actually am going to share this onto the screen because I've got to. Let's see. Let me share this.
I mean, cameras can be. I don't know. You can take a picture 5 minutes later and you look like a different person sometimes with lighting and stuff.
Well, I'll tell you. Let's see. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys. I will get it pulled up. Okay. So this is the Amber Alert.
Well, his hair's not real long there, is it?
Yeah, but it's way longer than it is in the video we just.
I don't think so. I don't think
Oh,
so.
I do. I absolutely do.
I'd have to look at it again. I'm not where it is.
Could it be the way he's combed it?
I guess it's possible.
We'd have to go back and compare.
Yeah, we could do that another time. We don't have to keep everybody on here while we do this. I apologize.
Yeah. It's a good question though.
Kim V says she thinks she would have mentioned a haircut. So yeah, I would think that would kind of be important.
Yeah, I'm sure she did with investigators. I just don't remember her ever going through the Saturday. Did she ever go through the Saturday?
Just the Costco part.
So I mean, it's possible. I'm sure police know what she did, even if we don't.
Right. Yeah. Well, anyway, we should probably wrap it up for tonight.
Yeah. So we appreciate everybody being here. Sorry, it's been so long since our last stream. Don't know when we'll be back again, but if you weren't here earlier, sounds like Seth is going to do a live on Friday. Maybe an interview. It sounded like possibly.
Says maybe have a special guest.
Yeah, special guest of some kind. So I imagine they won't reveal that until they do it. So that'll be something to check out. So we obviously won't go live on Friday. So I don't know when we'll be back again. Sorry, it's been so long. We just had so much going on with the holidays and everything. But we do appreciate everybody and all the gifted memberships and super chats. You guys are way too kind to us, but we do appreciate the support with that. Hope tonight was informative. It was kind of mind blowing for us. And maybe we'll we'll see what happens with this Green Hoodie situation. Keep following at Knight's X account. This seems to be, and Nick there also. That seems to be the best place to keep up with that end of the investigation. At least on the private end.
I don't understand that question.
Okay. Tennessee Nurse says, y'all don't have to answer if you don't want, but I would love to know where each of you are now. Are you still in the house with it?
She means with our theories.
Oh.
This is why you guys need me.
Mm-hmm.
Both of you at the same time. Oh.
I think we're still in
we
the
might oughta-
ballpark.
I don't know. I think we might want to think about it. Put a pin in it. Come back. Do it on a different night.
Well, today was a lot of information. So we try to reflect on all the new information and revisit our theories. So we've got a lot to think about.
Yeah, there's a lot that's been injected that's new. And I do kind of want to mull it over.
I know you do. That's why I said that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably tell you. I mean, I'm more quick to my thought, or it doesn't take me long to.
I mean, there could be other
come up with theories.
There's the two sides to every story, and maybe there's another side to some of the stuff tonight, or a misunderstanding.
We'll have to see how it plays out to a certain extent.
Yeah, no reason to rush to judgment. So no reason to do that. But of course, you know,
all detectives will tell you to start inward and work outward.
Yeah, I mean that's where you got to start. Everything points there first. Doesn't mean that's a fact, but I think you got to clear that situation first before you can look anywhere else. And if we can, I'd love to. I'd love for them to come out with, alibis and time cards like Seth did and things like that. If we can do that, that'd be wonderful. They have said in the last time that Chris was speaking publicly, he said there was going to come a point where they are going to come out and answer questions.
That's right.
That's been about 2 or 3 months ago. So I don't know if they're going to, if he meant that or not, or if he's changed his mind, but maybe that'll happen somewhere at some point. Hopefully, maybe with a Nick Barris or a Deception Detective or Court TV or, somewhere.
More information can help us get him home. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
And we want fact-based information that's verified. And
I'm sure there are things that are untrue that they could clear up that we believe are true that aren't.
What's the one about the funeral home? There's a rumor about that. That's one that bugs me.
About their family owning
their family. Yeah, they could come in and clear up all these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Alaska trips or
the 4-day weekend, if that's true or not. Clear up that rumor. If that's not true,
right,
then clear it up. If you have a 4-day weekend or not.
There's been a lot of things people questioned, and it would be easy just to come on and say, this is not true. This is the truth. This is what happened.
Especially if there's any proof that, especially if there's proof that they can provide.
Right.
Like real evidence, time cards and things of that nature.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We will try to not be gone so long next time. Anything you guys want to say before I wrap it up?
We're going to be working on our trivia for this month, and we'll let you know when we have that ready to roll.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so much.
Have a great night.
Thanks, everybody.
We remember you. We remember you. Ooh. We're still here for you. We'll shine a light for you.